Yeah.
You are today basing this entire allegation that you have made against the Enforcement Directorate on the fact that no money has been recovered in any of these raids. But as I have brought out, and even Tehseen Poonawalla today is not standing toe to toe, shoulder to shoulder with the Aam Aadmi Party. He may have a general grouse against the ED because after all the ED has gone after his Sambandhan. But you have invoked a very interesting argument. No money recovered, so he must be innocent. Now, I have shown you examples in the past where the Aam Aadmi Party hasn't given this benefit of doubt to either Modi or Dr. Manmohan Singh or several others like Arun Jaitley, who the AAP had to apologize to. So why should there be a different yardstick for Sisodia and a different one from Prime Minister Modi, the former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, for the late Venerable Mr. Jaitley, and a completely different set of yardsticks for Mr. Sisodia? Why?
Like as we have in the panel GVL sir too, and is the discussion about accusation and the corruption. Even sir from the BJP panel accused Sujna Chaudhary and CM Ramesh and termed them as Andhra Malyas. And I want to ask how many times he got into the jail, and what happened to the case and everything. Because you are talking about some 210 crores scam, which ED referred as 6% of the turnover of all the companies, or around the 3,500 crore of Indo Spirits and everything turnover. It's out of 6% will be given to AAP every year is the allegation. And you termed it as already the money was sent and used. And even the lawyer said there is, out of 58 pages of application, there is no money trail that was linked to Sisodia. And if you see, after the new policy had happened, there is a rule that there is no need of selling at MRP price, which means out of the 12% where the retailers have the margin, they can even sell it with very less price also. If you consider this, I want to know where, how they are able to generate the money without even the margin and give it to Manish Sisodia, which that was alleged. Because it's always said 6% to 12% was increased, the other 6% is directly go to the pockets of Sisodia ji.
Now, Funny Bhushan, I didn't ask you that question. Maybe you misunderstood my question. My question was straightforward. I wanted to know that the yardsticks that have been used by the AAP, I'll get to GVL Narasimha Rao, don't worry. I have his letter, in fact, the one that he wrote
I also have the video.
Panchadia ji. I have that here, who is the Honorable Chairman of the Ethics Committee of Rajya Sabha. It's right here, and he wrote about the Malyas. But that I'll come back to. I just want to ask you, Mr. Bhushan, it's a very simple, straightforward question. You have said that no money has been recovered from Manish Sisodia, so he must be innocent. He is our Ram. He is Maryada Purush. But no money was recovered in the Sahara Birla Diaries accusation from Narendra Modi, the current Prime Minister. Neither was it recovered from Dr. Manmohan Singh, who you said played a stellar role in the Colgate scandal. Neither was it recovered from Arun Jaitley, the late Arun Jaitley, who you said was corrupt and was carrying out all sorts of underhand practices in the DDCA. So I just want to ask you, sir, why should Manish Sisodia be judged by a different yardstick and the others not? You didn't answer my question. Can you answer this?
Can I take that, Rahul?
No, it's okay. I'll come to you in a few moments. Don't worry,
I want to answer. Like there is one easy narrative that's keep going on. If you are in BJP and get cases on you,
telling me
you will be.
So you were also making shoot and scoot allegations like the BJP makes against.
It's like
against Prime Minister Narendra Modi and against the former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh. Just answer me that. If you think that it's okay to throw keychad on everybody, it's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Who have CBI and ED in their hand?
Let us talk only about investigation in this case. Let us restrict ourselves to that.
Yeah. But he's not. You see, the point is, Mr. Bhushan believes that we're all fools. That the AAP can go and demand people's resignation, sack them, hang them. But when it comes to their own leader, we shouldn't, because they are Ram or they're Prahlad. So I want to ask you, Fani Bhushan, again, please, I'm badgering you a little bit. You need to come clean on this. You say others should resign, but your leader is Ram when corruption allegations are made. Why?
And if you see the fastness of the case, in this just Sisodia case, by the time CBI's bail trial was about to start,
you're not answering my question. Now, Fani Bhushan, we can go into this all night. I can ask you this and you will dodge, and the viewer will realize that there is something wrong here. We can do this the whole night. I have a lot of time on my hands. But I'm going to open this up.
Provisions of CRPC and investigation.
If they have a solid proof, it will be
He is not aware of the provisions
already.
of investigation.
Without having
how a
a
case ought
solid
to be
proof,
investigated.
They have solid proof. They are saying they have solid proof. They have depositions, sir. They have WhatsApp messages. They have put them here. This is the big document that has been submitted. You see how thick it is? How many pages it is? Should I read out the material they have collected? You see, my point is that they are claiming solid proof. There, WhatsApp chats, several of them, not just one. They have depositions of people. So I want you to explain. Now, money trail of kickbacks received. On page 40, viewers, on page 40, the ED claims.
People and other South group.
Sir, here it is.
Rahul, shall I simplify it for
Okay,
Mr.
Bhaskar Reddy wants to step in.
It's a purely
former Bengaluru top cop
provisions.
who was with the Aam Aadmi Party. Sorry, Bhaskar Rao.
Not Bhaskar Reddy, Bhaskar Rao.
Bhaskar Rao, sorry. Bhaskar Rao steps in. Now, Bhaskar Rao.
See, let Mr. Fani Bhushan be clear.
Yeah.
If anybody is called for investigation by an investigative authority over there, if they are not able to answer the questions and give evasive answers at that time, and the investigation officer has got sufficient information to see that he can throw light on that, but he is giving evasive answers, such a person is sent to judicial custody and is brought back so that he comes back once again to give proper answers over there. And the amount of evidence that is already there on paper, not created by anybody else, created by the Delhi government, by making a U-turn on that, by making a correction, and by unilaterally withdrawing, etc. Because there are 2-3 aspects to it. The first aspect is the flaw in the policy and later making a U-turn out of it. And then trying to bring about a policy in such a great hurry, trying to see that a bigger evil is controlled. But actually what has happened, the government abdicated its responsibility and things just went absolutely out of control. And the proceeds for completely privatizing went to the southern group or southern chapter, which you have been mentioning over there.
Yeah, but these are all allegations by the enforcement director. Now I want to ask you, Mr. Bhaskar Rao, one second. You were with the Aam Aadmi Party. You were a vice president of the Aam Aadmi Party in your state. And I want to ask you this question. It's a very important question. Has today the Aam Aadmi Party lost the moral high ground on corruption? And that too a year before the 2024 elections. The Congress lost it in 2014. It cost them. Will the AAP pay? I want to ask you, since you quit the AAP, why did you quit the AAP?
Because there was total lack of transparency in the decision making, and what they say and what they do, there is a lot of variance in that. I had thought that this is going to be a straightforward thing. In fact, in this liquor case itself, when we were doing door-to-door campaigning, people used to ask, what is happening over here. We expected at least, I wanted information that put out a white paper at least, give an example of what your innocence is, that come out clean and say what exactly you did and what has gone wrong. If a white paper was there highlighting what all had happened over there, people would have got convinced. So if there is such a kind of a cloak of secrecy over there, how you have taken decisions over there. Now calling yourself Ram, Vanavas and making an emotional appeal to children, etc., that doesn't cut ties. When I was in Aam Aadmi Party, the workers used to say, how do we answer such questions when people ask us, sir? Get us some information from Delhi, how we can answer. So many times we brought it to the notice of our local president to bring the answers from there. In fact, there is a Ravi Shankar committee, which is a wonderful committee which gave recommendations earlier also over there. He was a joint commissioner of excise here, and how government of Karnataka does this over there. But they never brought out anything of that kind. So I would say that yes, the moral high ground is lost. Either out of incompetence or
Aam Aadmi
out of
Party has
moral
lost its USP. That's the charge. Very quick response from Tehseen Poonawala, very quickly. Has it lost the moral high ground on corruption?
Well, to lose high ground, you have to be on high ground. These were a bunch of people who came in, who preached morality to the entire world, and now the roosters have come home to roost, as the saying goes. So for me, from the time of Anna Hazare, I think that this particular movement and this party had no moral high ground. So there are a lot of questions, as Bhaskar Rao ji said, rightly, that need to be answered, which Aam Aadmi Party is not answering. But there are more pertinent questions which the Honorable MP is now going to ask. And the Honorable MP will never be able to answer these questions. Then how, sir, is it that under the CBI, 124 raids are taken place and 118 on the opposition and just 6 on BJP and its allies? How under the Enforcement Directorate, 121 raids take place, 115 on the opposition, and just 5 on the BJP and its allies? But the magic in the ED raid, because ED has become BD, Bajrang Dal, and it's become an instrument of magic. The magic is, I can give you 3 names. Himanta Biswa Sharma, the BJP writes a letter, investigation starts, he comes to the BJP, investigation stalls. Then is Mukul Roy, even further magic. When he's in the TMC, investigation is going on. He comes miraculously to the BJP, investigation stops. He goes back to the TMC, investigation starts, and so is the case with Ajit Pawar. Why does the ED act like an arm of the BJP? Even with regards to Manish Sisodia, who I think has a lot to answer with the JNBT Act 1991, the Transaction of Business Schools 1993, Delhi Excise Acts 2009, Delhi Excise Rules 2010. All of these questions needed to be asked. But why couldn't ED summon him before? Today on the eve, when his bail is going to be decided, ED now comes and decides that Manish Sisodia should be taken into custody. Why does the ED act as an arm of the Bharatiya Janata Party?
Okay.
That is the simple question you need.
Okay, let me ask, because G.V. Narasimha Rao, this is what I anticipated. Now, Mr. Bhushan began by saying, I'm seeing the member of parliament from the Bharatiya Janata Party, G.V. Narasimha Rao. He said, I have a letter, and I have that letter also. In that letter, sir, you say, as a champion of public issues, leaders like you have set high standards for people entering public life. I'm writing to bring to your kind notice serious breach of ethics on part of 2 members of Rajya Sabha, namely CM Ramesh and Mr. Y.S. Chaudhary. Both are involved in allegations of massive financial bungling and fraud. The ED also put out a tweet with the number on it. The amount that Y.S. Chaudhary has supposed to have basically usurped, 5,700 crores, and diverted them into several shell companies, etc., etc. And you have attached documentary proof. Yet, sir, Mr. Chaudhary was taken in by the Bharatiya Janata Party and not prosecuted. So, number one, the ED, therefore, seems to have, or maybe the government that reports, the ED reports to, which is your government, has lost credibility to make this case. Even you can't take the moral high ground today.
Thank you, Rahul, for the opportunity. Let me make 3 points. I'll come to the point, your question you asked, as the third point.
Okay.
Because it has a particular flow. Point number 1, what is money laundering? Because Mr. Manish Sisodia is being charged under PMLA Act. Offense of money laundering, which is described in the chapter 2 of the PMLA Act. It says, it doesn't talk about the recovery of hard cash and things like that. It says, this is the only definition of money laundering. Whosoever directly or indirectly attempts to indulge or knowingly assists or knowingly is a party or is actually involved in any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime and projecting it as untainted property shall be guilty of offense of money laundering. So they have already talked about 100 crores having been paid through the Hawala route. I'm sure ED will substantiate its own findings. And if that is established, I think you don't need to recover hard currency from the bed of Manish Sisodia or from his drawing room. As long as it has been done with his knowledge or with his complicity or knowledge, indirectly or directly, he can be punished under this particular act. And the punishment is for a period of 3 to 7 years.
Sir, you're giving me a lecture.
Point number one. Then point number two.
No,
I'm coming to your point. Just give me 30 seconds.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Rahul, just 30 seconds I'll take. Second, why are so many cases? The second question was, Tehseen asked, why is ED and CBI, why are the most cases against the opposition leaders? We have been in government for nearly 9 years now. Have you been able to charge Modi ji's government even with one case of corruption? Has there been any taint or any involvement of any minister in any misdeed or misappropriation?
But sir, how will you know
could not
this?
even make one charge. The only
If you
charge
have investigators that are run, no, one second. If you control the investigating agency, one second. If you control the investigating agency, sir, then how does anyone look for anything? They'll say, "Bhai, kuch hai hi nahi. Why am I looking?" The opposition is making false allegation, and that's the end of the case. This is what has happened.
Rahul, I'm giving you.
No. Why? You have to answer my question, sir. All this prelude is great, and sir, a preamble. We are not writing the constitution here. I'm only asking you a simple question.
We have been in government for
One individual, YS Chaudhary.
Case of corruption could you level against us?
No, one second,
Rahul,
one
there is
second.
no Sarva
I'll tell you,
Adhikar
YS Chaudhary, one second, YS Chaudhary is a living example.
being there,
You alleged,
other
no,
agencies.
one second, Mr. Rao, one second. I'm dealing with GVL Narasimha Rao, one second. YS Chaudhary, you said, was involved in a scam.
I was coming to it.
No, to the tune of 5,700 crores. And that the ED has found this and the ED has found that. But you take YS Chaudhary into your party. First of all, why did you take a corrupt person that you accused of corruption into your party? Number one. Number two, then the ED goes away. There's been no arrest. He's not chakki pisoing in jail.
It hasn't gone away. No. You please get your facts right. Get your facts right. Any charge that existed as of that day.
Sir,
that
I said the
continued,
ED has gone away,
probe
not the case.
continued, There was never.
I'm not saying the case has gone away. I said the ED has gone away. They have not arrested him. Why is he not arrested? This is the amount, 5,700 crores. Sisodia has taken 290.
I think you will have to get your Rahul. I can tell you there has never been any let-up or any reprieve given to anybody, but we have admitted him into the party. That's a fact. I will have to admit.
Why do you take a person that GVL Narasimha Rao, a member of parliament from the BJP, said is corrupt?
There has never been any.
These are the words. The case of YS Chaudhary is even more dangerous as his business operations remain shady and it seems thousands of crores have been borrowed using political clout and patronage. This is your letter. Yet, sir, your party took him in. Such a dangerous person with such dubious sources of money. It could be Dawood's money. Who's to know? You yourself have made these claims. Dubious money, shady. Why is he in your party? Sir, this is amazing.
No. I think don't question. He whatever he borrowed was from the banks for business purposes. There were certainly allegations. There was an inquiry. To the best of my knowledge, that inquiry is continuing till today.
The case of Mr. YS Chaudhary is even more dangerous as his business operations remain shady and it seems thousands of crores have been borrowed using political clout and patronage. If he's borrowed, sir, from banks using clout.
Have I withdrawn my statement or has the ED withdrawn the case? To the best of my knowledge, There has never been any reprieve.
Okay.
The CBI
See,
has filed multiple bank
listen,
offenses on him.
is he in custody, sir?
In fact, no.
He has got public money.
agency
No,
has got
Mr. One second.
Rahul,
Let me bring in Mr. Rao.
please.
Mr. Bhaskar Rao is
Rahul,
trying
please
to
listen here.
outdo you.
With no,
Let me ask you, Mr.
See-
Bhaskar Rao, why has Chaudhary
no-
not been arrested?
No investigative agency. Yeah, I will answer your question. See,
Please.
when allegations like this fly or letters are written, etc., by someone, then they are taken to a party, etc. You said that the allegations have been the case remains, but that ED has gone away. No, it is not like that. No investigative agency has got Paramadhikar or Sarvadhikar saying that they are the end all and be all over there. The same Supreme Court gives relief to everybody who has approached it over there. If you have found that such and such a person has had such a kind of allegation against them, you approach an institution above the investigating agency. They never approached. Probably their allegations are not serious enough meriting such a kind
Rao,
of
let's
thing
not
over there.
defend the
So you
indefensible
can't
here.
say
Now,
that
come on, sir.
the
You've been a
case
former
went
law
away here.
enforcement
No,
official. Please don't defend the indefensible. Now you're
It is
getting
not.
people
It is.
very upset.
I'm
and there
telling
are
you.
a large number of viewers who are listening to you and they're...
from the point. See,
no, sir,
when
they're
you
not
got
going to...
avenue, no,
Please,
you have
don't make
got an
this...
avenue.
Don't trivialize
You
this.
have an avenue.
The man has not even been arrested, sir.
You already come to a conclusion, indefensible dismiss.
I have not come to the conclusion.
sorry, when you come-
Your
how
fellow
do you say
member of the
indefensible,
BJP,
etc.?
GV
You have
Narasimha Rao,
already
who's
come
a
to
member of
conclusion
parliament,
over
came
there.
to this
You
conclusion.
cannot come to a conclusion over there.
He came to the
You cannot
conclusion,
come
it's
to
his
a
letter.
conclusion over there. If you have made allegation.
So tell me something,
No, if he
Mr.
has come to
Bhaskar Rao, one
conclusion over
second.
there, if he has
Was
been
GVL
admitted over
Narasimha
there,
Rao
there is
wrong?
enough opportunity for
Was
somebody
GVL
else
Narasimha Rao wrong? I'm asking you, Mr. Bhaskar Rao. Was GVL Narasimha Rao wrong
See,
to have written this letter?
I'm not getting into individuals. See, I'm
Naturally, you're not getting into
Okay,
individuals.
let me answer you. See, it is not the question of individuals. I'm talking about institution.
Anyhow.
If you have said that institution has gone away over there, you bring back the institution by a constitutional order over there from the Supreme Court over there.
This is the most hilarious argument I've heard
Viewers,
in a long time.
There is no point
Rahul, can
dealing
I
with-
come in
What
on
is
this?
hilarious
Dealing
about
with
it?
Mr.
It
Bhaskar
is a
Rao tonight,
constitutional provision.
because
And if you're
he's not
bound to the
making any
Constitution,
sense.
you will only find
He's
it
leaving
hilarious
the
over there.
onus not on the agencies, not even on the BJP, but on others now to file cases to arrest Mr. Chaudhary. I mean, look at the ridiculousness of all of this. Please don't make a joke out of things, sir.
love your
Please,
debate
you're a
today,
responsible
Rahul.
man. I want to open this up. 1 second. Let me bring in Karthik
Finally,
Reddy.
please.
Let me bring in Neelam Ramesh. These are important persons. First, Neelam Ramesh. Neelam Ramesh, your party, chief. Let me ask you this question. The YSRTP, not CP but TP, Telangana viewers, led by YSRCP chief Jagan Reddy's sister. Now she came out and said that Kavita, who is one of the co-accused in this Liquorgate scam, not right now an accused, she is being called in for questioning. I stand corrected. She is under the lens, is staging a farce by going on protest. Why are you making this claim? Before I bring in the BRS to respond to you. Neelam Ramesh, why? Why are you making this claim? She's your state mate. The agencies could come after you tomorrow, Mr. Ramesh. The ED could come after you. The CBI could come after you. Why are you not standing with K. Kavita, showing support?
Rahulji, there's two things we like to confirm on this. One thing is we like to confine to Kavita, and Kavita today has done a fasting at Delhi. Why only today? Number one, why today? Why not 1 year back? Why not 6 months back? And she not given 33% reservation in BRS government last 2 terms. Her father is a CM 2 terms, not 1 time. In these 2 terms, there is no 33% reservation in Telangana. Why
Rahul,
not in
what was the
Telangana?
question?
Listen, 1 second. Karthikji, wait. So next thing is, they're not given, and she has to do fasting in front of the CM's house, not at the Delhi. She has to do fasting in front of the CM's house, number one. Number two, she already first time, she has won on the fair name of KCR, not around. Second time, she lost the game. Why she lost the game? She had a lot of confusion, lot of scams on her within the Telangana, but still no case has filed up because they are in power. Number two. Next thing is, when she has come to MLC, she not able to wait more than 1 year without power. she is an MLC. After she becoming MLC, do you think there is no other person better than Kavita who can be MLC woman? Why not? And next thing is, after MLC, I come from same place, Kamareddy. She is MLC from our own place. She has not visited more than 10 times. But she thrown mobiles more than 10 numbers.
Okay, Karthik Reddy, please respond, because this is not the BJP. Your opponent in one second in Telangana that is making the claim. This is YSRTP that is making the claim.
Yes.
And they have nothing in common with the BJP. So Karthik Reddy, you need to respond. Everyone is saying that there is something wrong here.
Yes, Rahul.
Hi Rahul, finally, thanks for letting me speak. I hope the panelists and yourself would let me speak at least for a few minutes. See, if you ask me to react to a party like YSRTP, we do not take them seriously, and their allegations are baseless. And what they said is completely not related to what we are speaking. See, Rahul, please, Rahul.
We are on field for 250 days.
Rahul,
Let the BRS spokesperson speak, Mr. Reddy.
Was I not silent?
No, please, this is not fair. Let him speak. He never interrupted you. Please, let him speak. Yes, BRS spokesperson. Go ahead.
See, coming to the larger picture, Rahul, we are talking about ED and the opposition leaders of this country. You spoke at length regarding Manish Sisodia. You spoke at length, the allegation made against the ED, against Kavitaka and all. See, you have to realize there is this saying, when the king himself becomes the judge, jury and executioner, even the God can't help you. Today, the BJP, which is the ruling party of the country, has become the king, which wants to become the judge, jury and the executioner. We want to file fictional cases, concoct stories against our leaders. Then you send out your troll army, your social media, your spokespersons on televisions. Then you also brand us. You become the judge, jury, and executioner. The hypocrisy of the BJP and the ruling elite has become such, reached such heights is Rahul. As we have respected. 1 second, Rahul.
Based on facts, when as presented by the ED.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. As there is Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao today, I want to also show you the video of Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, what he spoke today about Sujana Chaudhary. I don't know where to show this. There are enough Telugu speakers in the panelists. And there are many Telugu speakers in your viewership. You know what he was saying? He was directly questioning Mr. Sujana Chaudhary, the ill-gotten wealth he got. And today, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, you can let go of a good length ball. But this is Yorker. You cannot let it go.
Sure. Now, that much we have established, sir. You will appreciate, Mr. Reddy, that I asked these questions of GVL Narasimha Rao. But you are not answering the fundamental question tonight, and I want to come back to you. No, Mr. Reddy, please. I'm asking you this.
Yes, please.
You see, fine. The Enforcement Directorate, you say, is, a cage parrot. It is doing the bidding of the government. Fair enough. Let's go with that for a moment. 1 second. But the charge that is being made against Ms. K. Kavita is not being made in isolation. The ED is quoting Mr. Bucci Babu. Now, can I ask you, first of all, what is the relationship between Mr. Bucci Babu and K. Kavita?
Okay, you have to spare me a few minutes here, Rahul. That's just because you asked me a specific question.
Yes.
See, when the allegation is made by an agency, it is the onus of the agencies to prove what is the relationship. How does Rahul Shivshankar or Karthik Reddy know what is the relation between two people? Now that the ED has said these guys are related somehow in some business or not, whatnot, it is for the investigation agencies to prove, Rahul, who are you or who are me?
Okay.
So this is completely, see, this is what I said. Let's not become the executioners here. I've loved your debate. You have taken one of the most unbiased debates in the recent times. Please don't tarnish this. You have to ask the question. I'll tell you a simple fact. Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao Garu should also answer this. This is the ED action in the last 24 hours, right? Lallu Prasad Yadav's close aide, Abu, raided by ED. Lallu Prasad Yadav's brother-in-law, former SP MLC Jitendra Yadav is raided. Boni Sen Gupta of the TMC is raided. NCP MLA Hassan Mushrif has been raided in Bombay. Manish Sisodia arrested by ED. ED raids in Ranchi, for Manish Sisodia's case. ED summons Uddhav Sena's MLC Anil Parab. Rahul, is this ED Enforcement Directorate or is this Enforced BJP Rule Directorate? What is this?
Okay.
अरे कुछ तो शर्म करो यार.
कुछ तो शर्म करो. But let me still ask you. Fair enough. I think I've asked those questions of Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao.
This is Besharmi.
Okay, one second. Now I just want to ask you this. This is Mr. Bucci Babu, and I'm just going to elaborate on the relationship in just a few moments. Mr. Bucci Babu, in his statement dated 23/2, has disclosed that there was a political understanding between Ms. K. Kavita and the CM and Deputy CM of Delhi. In that process, K. Kavita has also met Mr. Vijay Nair on 19th and 20th of March 2021. Vijay Nair was trying to impress K. Kavita with what he could do in the policy. Vijay Nair was acting on behalf of the CM, Delhi Shri Arvind Kejriwal, and Deputy CM Manish Sisodia. Vijay Nair was working on the excise policy on their behalf. The understanding was that in exchange of the favors that can be done in the policy and the Delhi liquor business for K. Kavita, some funds would be given to the AAP. Now, this is a statement made by Mr. Bucci Babu. And Siddharth Talia is going to elaborate for us viewers the exact relationship between Bucci Babu, as the ED claims, and K. Kavita. Now, I want to ask you, why would Bucci Babu implicate himself in this matter by saying, yes, I was there, this is what happened? If anything, he would have said, this is all lies. Like K. Kavita would have said, I don't know K. Kavita. Why is he implicating himself?
See, I want to take you all back to very infamous cases this country knows pretty well. The 2002 riots, which was against the Prime Minister himself, and the Shorabuddin encounter case, which was against our own Amit Shah. In those witnesses, you will see multiple people giving out alleged statements against the Prime Minister and our Honorable Home Minister. What did the court finally do? See, now the allegations are only limited to what these people have said. The judgment or these allegations leveled, which has to be grounded, the responsibility, onus is on the agencies or on the court. They can allege anything. I'll tell you one more thing, Rahul. Today, in the afternoon, I don't know, one Mr. Ramchandra Pillai today filed an application in the court saying, I want to withdraw my statement given to the ED. One of these gentlemen is involved in one of those cases. So I am alleging, maybe the ED and CBI are fabricating evidences. Maybe they are scaring the witnesses.
Okay.
Otherwise, why would Mr. Ramchandra Pillai
Bucci
take his
Babu,
statement back?
Kavita's former auditor, is playing an innings at the behest of the enforcement directorate. That's what you're saying, number one. Manoj Rai, Pernod Ricard employee. Vijay Nair acted on behest of Sisodia. Kejriwal is also someone who has been gamed. Devendra Sharma, Sisodia's PA, bought mobiles that were used by Sisodia. He's also, of course, lying. Arun Pillai, Hyderabad businessman, alleged Binami of BRS MLC, K. Kavita, also partner Indospirit Group, also gamed witness, you're saying. All of these are game people, and now they are all turning turtle. Okay, fair enough. Look. At the end of the day, corruption has returned to the mainstream of Indian politics. Okay, GVL Narasimha Rao wants to quickly respond. Yes. And there is, of course, Tehseen. Yes. Yeah, very quickly, sir.
No, Rahul, Rahul, none of the parties, the prime actors involved, they have not said that they have nothing to do with this particular scam. I have not heard Kavita say this. Ms. Kavita has not made this statement. I don't know these individuals that our friend on the panel, the BRS spokesperson, is saying. Kavita has not said, I have nothing to do with liquor scam. There is no one who is saying all the allegations are absurd and there is absolutely no hanky-panky. Then why were phones destroyed? Why were the SIM cards destroyed? Is this not a fact of life? Is it not a fact that Kavita met with the Deputy Chief Minister and people like Vijay Nair? What was she doing with them? What was being discussed with them? What was the messages being exchanged? So I think you cannot, this is an open and shut case. Just by making counter allegations against the BJP, you cannot get away. If you have charges against BJP, please do politically fight them, go to the courts, go to any institution where you can establish those cases.
Okay, Tehseen
but in
Poonawalla
all the cases, Lalu Yadav, can you not say the IRCT, this railway scam did not happen? There is evidence. Can
The
any of
Honorable
you
MP
say, all of them
Sir,
are only
I'll
saying
answer
this?
you.
We are all corrupt. We have
Okay.
been
I'll
caught.
answer you.
So
We have been
Lalu
caught
was
in these
convicted.
shady scams.
Lalu was convicted
But why are you saving some people? Go ahead and expose
Lalu was
them.
convicted
No.
multiple times, viewers, in the fodder scam. Tehseen Poonawalla, these are convicted individuals.
We have evidence. A case against BJP MLA Mr. Mandal Virupaksha was lodged by none other than a constitutional body called the Lokayukta. His son was caught red-handed with money. Money was found from the house of the BJP MLA. Mr. Narasimha Rao just said on your show, where was money found on the bed? Money was found on the bed. You know what happened? The courts came in and said, look, you cannot even discuss this case on a
he's been
TV channel.
arrested.
And then the court said, just merely because money is found does not make it corruption. And the BJP gave the same MLA the cash was found from where Mr. Bhaskar Rao comes, a hero's welcome. The BJP is misusing agencies. When a constitutional body finds cash in an MLA's house, they have not suspended the MLA, they have given him a hero's welcome and threatening us with defamation.
Okay, look, one second.
Problem.
I can't get into this case because, viewers, the courts have put a gag order on anyone even discussing this. Now, why they have done it in their great wisdom, I don't know, viewers. I thought light was the best antiseptic. But the courts, of course, in this country are a law unto themselves. So they have decided that no media should talk about this case where allegedly money was recovered from a very powerful individual. So I don't know why they've done it, but I'm not going to be hauled up and thrown into jail because Tehseen Poonawalla has decided to rake this matter up. Take it up. No, take it up in the Supreme Court. Tell your courts how to behave. Whatever you want to do, sir, don't do it here. I'll go to jail. I just want to make it very clear, viewers. But I just want to also point out one basic fact. Set aside everything else. Corruption is back, front and center, as one of the key issues that is going to decide the 2024 race, viewers. And the Enforcement Directorate that is copying so much criticism of being selective, the CBI, etc., all these agencies will need to ensure that these cases reach a logical conclusion. Because if they can't, there's going to be problems for them. Viewers, for the second day, we're going to have to discuss another very important stories. Very important story. The priorities of the Gehlot government in Rajasthan are clear. Day before yesterday, the Chief Minister shed tears, rained compensation and Sarkari jobs on the families of Junaid and Nasir. They are the two suspected cow smugglers who were allegedly killed by Gau Rakshaks. While there's nothing wrong in compensating anyone, especially under these circumstances, the question is, why is this empathy selective? While Chief Minister Gehlot lent his shoulder to the families of Nasir and Junaid, at 3 a.m. his police detained the widows of Pulwama martyrs. They had been on a dharna outside Sachin Pilot's residence for the last 12 days. Sachin Pilot, of course, a big face in the Rajasthan government, the Congress government there, demanding an audience with the Chief Minister. Not only did the Chief Minister have no time for them, they were forcibly removed from the site. Times Now has met the families of the Pulwama braves. They are inconsolable. The mother of martyr, Rohitash Lamba, she broke down and cried. But the Chief Minister can't see her tears. In fact, these individuals who have been detained have disappeared. We don't even know where they are. Viewers, they've been robbed of their dignity. And I want to quickly open this up, and I want to quickly go across and ask some very basic questions tonight. And my first question is to Meghna Girish, mother of martyr Major Akshay Girish. Now, Ms. Girish, thank you for speaking to us. What do you make of this entire case, this episode, the Pulwama martyrs, widows, and the way they're being treated?
You know, I mean, I've responded to some of this earlier as well, and what I'm seeing over here is extremely sad. Basically, what I feel is that a soldier never lets down his nation, but a nation seems to somehow let down the families of those soldiers who gave their all defending the country, you know, fighting for the country. So whatever is happening, everybody says we stand with the next of kin, we stand with the families of the martyrs. They've made a supreme sacrifice. We are there, you know, we will take care. But when it actually comes to doing what they need to, they're pretty good at forgetting what promises were made, and they're also very good at finding some loopholes or the other to deny the family the kind of support that they had promised.
But what do you put this down to? This lack of empathy, sympathy, etc.
So that you saw what was happening, I mean, the widow, the Veer Naris, they went with a memorandum to the governor, and then they wanted to meet the chief minister. They had certain grievances. It is 4 years since Pulwama. And if there are unfulfilled promises and they have grievances, why were they treated the way they were? Why should the police be pushing them and, mishandling them? They haven't come begging for something that was not promised to them. What kind of treatment is this? The CM's office, the least that they need to do is they need to hear them out. Can't they seat them? They have no space in their office to listen to the Veer Naris. Is this the way any citizen should be, first of all, treated, and that too the wives of our martyrs?
Yeah.
It's a total lack of insensitivity. And then you hear them going seesawing back and forth, almost trying to put the blame back on the family itself, as if it is their fault. I mean, I don't know what to say, but governments are always trying to say that they're doing everything perfectly, and the fault is always of the citizen who is actually the sufferer.
Well, let me bring in, thank you, Ms. Girish, for speaking to us. Let me just bring in Mr. Madan, who is a pro-Congress advocate. Mr. Madan, now you're hearing a martyr's mother speak. This is grossly insensitive. I mean, and it's also selective. Why? Why are you doing this? These people have served our nation. Yes. They have sacrificed their everything. All they want is their dignity.
Yes, Rahul, I agree with you, and I will start from where you left. And, you mentioned a word called selective, and, I would like to highlight that word in the context of what is happening here. I will just like to remind you and your viewers that back in 2019, a private bill was introduced by the leader of opposition, where a leader of opposition wanted to have a law on the subject where you should have a codified law that will govern how you will take care of the people, our soldiers who are martyred.
Don't throw this. One second. I'm only asking you a specific question. We can go into the law and all of that. I'm only asking you a simple question. You have such a problem with that particular person, take it up. Why are you detaining? Let me bring in General Bakshi. How does this square with you, General Bakshi?
Rahul, this is unfair, Rahul. This is absolutely unfair. I'm making a valid and an
okay, but what Rahul, point are you making? That because they didn't do it, we are also... No, hang on. Is that your point, Mr. Madan? Because they didn't do it, so you see, we are also exempt from our responsibilities?
No, absolutely not.
What is your point?
Absolutely not. I will never for a minute.
No, what is your point? Get to the point.
Women into jail. My point is, while the incumbent government
they are very bad. Sir, they are very bad. Does that make the Congress also want to ape them?
The fact I will never. I am not supporting.
So then come out and say, please stop detaining these people. Why can't you just take a position in the interest of humanity?
Rahul, you are not letting me speak. I would have said the same thing. I am not supporting any mistreatment to any of the, widows of the martyr. I am not supporting that. But
Rahul,
I am
this is
too
much.
Point here.
I mean, he'll just hog the whole discussion time.
Making a larger point here.
Don't make a larger point, make a specific point. 1 minute, let me bring in General Bakshi. This is complete filibustering, viewers, by an attempt to buy up time. He knows that we're at the end of the show. So let me speak and time out everybody.
Sorry.
General Bakshi, very quickly.
I am sorry, Rahul.
Ridiculous. You're detaining people.
Rahul,
you're detaining people whose children have sacrificed for this nation. Have you no shame?
You won't want to talk substance.
General
Bakshi.
Bakshi.
Not for a minute defending what is happening there.
Then keep quiet. If you don't want to defend it, keep quiet, but don't make allowances. Yes, General Bakshi.
Rahul, in less than a month, this is the third incident of an outrage against the armed forces personnel and their families. We had the Tamil Nadu incident. The media went ballistic. Thereafter, very shortly, we had the incident in Bihar where one of the martyrs' father, Galwan martyrs, recent memory, you know, the father who was trying to
Yes.
install a statue of his son. Quite obviously, the state government won't do it. They only do it for netas, you know. He was thrashed. He was put behind the bars.
There's a pattern
we
here.
again made noises. Ineffectual noises.
Ineffectual.
Rahul. That
There is a
the
pattern
point.
here.
Ineffectual noises. The netas don't care.
They don't care.
The Chief Minister of Rajasthan, high and mighty on his pedestal, he refuses to even meet.
Absolutely.
These
There's no
war
excuse for
widows.
it. There is
He
no
has
excuse.
no
I'm leaving
time
it at
to
this.
even
We've run out of time, but not viewers of attention. We will come back to this story day in and day out till these Veer Naris get justice. I promise you this.
I think I really can't comment on public transportation in general, but what I would definitely want to say is that we as a platform are trying to be as safe for women riders as possible. In fact, very recently, we hit the milestone of training more than 100,000 drivers on the platform for gender sensitization. In fact, as the number stands right now, we have trained more than 130,000 drivers on the platform, especially on gender sensitization. So, I mean, we from time to time obviously work on such initiatives which are industry first, which make sure that women experience a safe ride on the platform. I think we definitely want to encourage more and more women drivers on the platform. In fact, in the US, we recently launched a product called Women Rider Preferred, wherein our women drivers will get the option to be paired only with women riders. And that's something which we believe is going to be very empowering for our women drivers to feel safe on the platform, especially if they're taking, let's say, nighttime trips, etc. So that's something which we are evaluating for our market and which we would definitely want to see if we can launch it here for India. And yeah, we are partnering with multiple organizations to get more and more women drivers on the platform, and something which we constantly endeavor towards. Yeah, gender sensitization is not just about drivers being sensitized towards women riders, but it's also about sensitizing.
A bit dull, not as vibrant as the box or prop.
All the top stories on the show tonight, viewers.
At least 6 YouTube channels have been blocked by the central government for allegedly promoting pro-Khalistan sentiments in India. In a crackdown against pro-Khalistan sympathizer Amritpal Singh, the CISF has nabbed Gurinder Pal Singh at the airport. He looked after Amritpal's social media. Trouble mounts for Gurmeet Ram Rahim. An FIR has now been registered in Jalandhar. He has been accused of inciting religious sentiments. ED conducted searches in Uttar Pradesh and Mumbai, including the properties linked to Lalu Yadav and his family members.
Drivers against sensitizing our drivers for all genders. So that is something which we will definitely work towards and get done. It's a very interesting idea and something which we have ourselves discussed and deliberated quite a lot. I think the challenge here would be to have a service which is very reliable, because the last thing that you would want is someone trying to book a pink cab but then not having vehicles available, right? So that's going to be a challenge that we are going to solve. Again, it's not an easy challenge because the number of women drivers is on the platform really low, and in general also commercial women drivers, the numbers are fairly low. So it's going to be challenging for us to do that at this point. But what we are doing is that we are
टाइम्स ड्राइव के नाम से आप सर्च करें, उसे भी फॉलो करें। लेटेस्ट खबरें आपको मिलेंगी और timesdrive.in है हमारा वेबसाइट। वहां पर तो लेटेस्ट खबरों के अलावा डिस्काउंट्स और जो स्पाई पिक्स हैं, आने वाली गाड़ियां हैं, उन सब के बारे में खबरें मिलेंगी। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट दिस स्टोरी। हम बात करते हैं BMW 3GL की। क्रांति संभव रिपोर्टिंग फ्रॉम द सेकंड रो ऑफ BMW 3GL। आमतौर पर ये वाला हिस्सा स्टोरी में बाद में आता, लेकिन
Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Newshour at 9 with me, Meghna Dekla. Well, in this show, we are going to tell you how, unfortunately, it's not new to have dharnas by political parties when their top bosses are faced with the test of probity. Well, remember, when the Enforcement Directorate summoned the Gandhis for questioning in the National Herald case, or when Mamata Banerjee and TMC cadres laid siege to the CBI office in Kolkata, or when Sena supporters hit the streets over Sanjay Raut's arrest. But the question is dhamki of dharna being used to deflect scrutiny? Well, today, the day before, BRS's MLC, K. Kavita, was summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. She's supposed to join in tomorrow. She's, of course, the daughter of Chief Minister KCR as well. She's held a dharna today at Jantar Mantar. While she is going to be quizzed about her alleged role in influencing the Delhi liquor policy, she was protesting against the centre for delaying the Women's Reservation Bill. Now, this bill, of course, is very, very serious. It is very critical. It seeks to reserve 33% of the seats for women in Lok Sabha and assemblies. Here, K. Kavita accused the BJP of forgetting their promises.
आज मुद्दा क्या है? मुद्दा कविता का नहीं है, मुद्दा एक स्टेट का नहीं है, मुद्दा पूरा देश का। क्योंकि देश की आधी आबादी को आप बाहर रखोगे, देश की आधी आबादी को आप राजनीतिक अवसर नहीं दोगे, तो देश किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ेगा? ये राजनीतिक मामला नहीं है, पॉलिटिकल मुद्दा नहीं है। आपके साथ साथ आपको हिम्मत देने के लिए, आपको हौसला देने के लिए हम महिलाएं सिर्फ आज दिल्ली से शुरुआत हमने किया है, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान के हर शहर में भी हम आंदोलन करेंगे। ये आंदोलन जारी रखेंगे और एक सत्र से लेके दिसंबर में जो विंटर सेशन है, तब तक भी हम आंदोलन चलाते रहेंगे।
Well, a string of other opposition leaders, including the CPM General Secretary Sitaram Yechuri, have appealed to all the parties to unite for the cause, while some others have raised questions on the Enforcement Directorate's action on the opposition leaders, asking why central agencies' footprints are only present in opposition-ruled states.
विपक्षी दलों से अपील है कि इकट्ठा हो और प्रधानमंत्री के ऊपर दबाव डाले, क्योंकि उन्होंने खुद वादा किया था 9 साल पहले जब प्रधानमंत्री बने, उस समय उन्होंने कहा कि पहला काम वो करेंगे महिला आरक्षण की बिल पारित करेंगे। 9 साल हो गए, तो अपोजिशन की एकता की बात नहीं है आज की प्रोटेस्ट। आज की प्रोटेस्ट है महिला आरक्षण के लिए।
Well, I want to ask the CBI as well as the ED only one question. Is your footprint only limited to the states where the opposition is in power or the political leaders are in the opposition? How is it that in the 924 investigations that you have launched, and I'm talking about the ED now, 115 relate only to opposition leaders?
जो भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है तो उसमें कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, चाहे वो किसी राज्य में। जितनी तत्परता आप दूसरे प्रदेशों में दिखाते हैं, उतनी तत्परता अपने ही शासित राज्यों में दिखाएं, तो कोई उंगली नहीं उठाएगा।
Well, the YSRTP has led the counter-attack against the BRS. It asked why isn't the women's wing being implemented in Telangana first before they target the centre over it.
The fight that she's taken up in Delhi for 33% women reservation is not implemented in our own state in Telangana. Her own father is the chief minister in Telangana, and this BRS party doesn't implement 33% reservation in Telangana itself. In 2014, Mr. KCR gave only 6 seats to women in out of 119 constituencies. In 2018, he gave 4 seats to women out of 119 constituencies. Even to this day, there are not more than 2 or 3 ministers, women ministers or women MPs or women MLCs. And then what right have you got to fight for this cause in Delhi? Why has Ms. Kavita taken this cause at this moment and not earlier? Why hasn't this party implemented this cause while they could in Telangana? The only reason is they are using this 33% women's reservation as a diversion tactic. They are using this to save her skin. Tomorrow, because tomorrow or day after her arrest is imminent in the Delhi liquor scam, they have resorted to this farce is what I believe.
Well, of course, this isn't the first time that political parties have hit the streets in protest when they face the heat of investigative agencies. Let's remind you how dharna and protests have been staged in face of taint charges. Let's look at the National Herald case. In June 2022, Enforcement Directorate had quizzed the Gandhi, Sonia and Rahul. The fallout, 3 days of nationwide protests which were held by the Congress party. In Guwahati, you had Congress cadres even attack an ACP-level police officer. In the Narada sting case of 2021, CBI had arrested 2 of the TMC mantris and 1 MLA. The fallout, the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and her supporters tried to storm the CBI office. There was stone pelting also which happened. The Chief Minister sat outside demanding release of her netas. In the Patrachal redevelopment case, in August 2022, Enforcement Directorate had arrested Sena's Sanjay Raut. Now, Sena workers, the Uddhav faction, raised slogans. They blocked roads. The women's wing also attempted to stage Rasta Roko. So here's why rivals are calling out BRS's fight for women's reservation in Parliament a complete sham. Well, data has shown that while BRS has ostensibly supported the women's reservation bill, they even held a dharna in its favor today, but they have given a raw deal to women when it came to distributing tickets for state and Lok Sabha polls. Sample this. On your screens, you can see the data there speaking for itself. Telangana has 119 seats, but BRS had fielded only 4 women candidates in 2018 assembly polls and 6 in the 2014 state polls. Talking about Lok Sabha, the party fielded only 2 women candidates in 2019 and just 1 in the 2014 polls of Lok Sabha. So here's the legitimate question here on Newshour at 9. Dharna Dhamki, is it to deflect scrutiny?
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let me go across to our panelists. Joining us today, Mr. R.P. Singh, spokesperson with the BJP. Dr. Anand Ranganathan is joining us, an author. Kailash Adhikari is joining us, MD of Governance Now. Ravi Srivastava, a political analyst here on our show. Ravula Sridhar Reddy is joining us, spokesperson with the BRS. Lokesh Jindal of the Congress party is here with us as well. Mr. Reddy, I'm going to come to you. First, I'm going to start by applauding the efforts that your party has had to try and push for the women's reservation bill. Representation of women in positions of power is extremely important for a democracy to ensure that there is equality. It is a very important issue. However, it should not be politicized. This is one of the issues, incidentally. The draft has been on the back burner since 2008. Is it mere coincidence that the day before your chief's daughter is summoned by the Enforcement Directorate in the liquor game probe, that this voice for women equality, women's liberation and the women's quota bill is now coming up today?
Who kept it in the back burner? Modi ji promised in 2014. Again, they have promised in 2019. And they have not implemented the women reservation. So who has kept it in the back burner? Congress, misled this country first. They have promised. They did something, of course, but they could not be successful in making it happen. Now, Modi ji promised twice, and they have not done it. So, what is left for us? As a political party, we support women reservation bill. We want.
That's not my question. My question was about the timing of the dharna.
It is nothing to do with the ED questioning or these cases. Basically, we have been, fighting for this for a long time. In our state, in local bodies, we have implemented 50% reservation to women. So we wanted this to happen at the national level, the women reservation bill. So we are fighting for
How
it.
many have you fielded when it comes to the Lok Sabha polls? How many women candidates did the BRS field when it came to your state polls?
See, we in our state, I already have told you, in the local bodies, there are 50%.
No, I asked you a different question.
We have two ministers. Listen. We have two ministers in our cabinet. There are, MLAs. There are corporation chairmen. There are, as you said, local bodies 50%. So we have mayors, municipal chairmen. At every level, we have a proper representation of women in every elected and even nominated positions. So Telangana state today has done enough, on the women empowerment issue. Now we want Narendra Modi government to keep their promise and what they have promised to this country. We are not asking
Mr. RP
anything
Singh,
new.
would you like to come in? It is something that BRS claims it has always stood for, and there is no such suspect timing when it comes to the Dharmana, one day ahead of the ED summons for K. Kavita.
Well, our other promises to ensure that we clean up the country from the corrupt political people or political bosses. The BRS spokesperson should speak about Bachchu Babu, Buchi Babi and Aruna Ramchandran Pillai before talking about anyone else. And then let them explain what is the relationship of Kavita ma'am with these two gentlemen. And did Kavita madam took a chartered plane to Delhi for a meeting at Oberoi Maiden with Vijay Nair or not? And why did she destroy her SIM cards and mobiles? That's a bigger question. What is this? And then as per women reservation, let me quote you another figure. There's 17% increase in women atrocities in their state. Is almost 20,000 plus women who are suffering, who have suffered atrocities in Telangana last year. I mean, this year it will be much more. So that's the state of the affair as a women reservation. But the bigger issue today is they are trying to deflect. They are trying to take this as a shield or a cover from the what's going to happen tomorrow. And since she is going to be confronted with the all the key accused in this case, that's why this cover-up has happened. Tomorrow she will say that, oh, I'm being victimized. I'm to play a victim card. They're doing this. That I was trying to pick up women's issue, and that's why I've been victimized by the ED, and I've been arrested. I don't know whether they'll arrest her or not. But if they do, then I've been arrested by ED for doing taking over the woman cause.
Is that what's happening, Lokesh Jindal? Because the Congress party has also said, yes, it's great. However, an invitation was extended to your party as well. Is this playing as per the toolkit, if one may call it, of the opposition dharnas that we have seen across? That first you hold a protest, if anything happens, then later on you always have the caveat that you can add that you are being targeted because you are part of the opposition party, and it's not about probity at all. You should be let out of any kind of lens or any kind of scanner being put, or any kind of probity test being put for any of your leaders. We've seen at other time of your Gandhis as well.
Hi, Meghna. In fact, the entire nation knows that right from the independence, it has been Congress that has stood for women's right, whether it was in the form of Hindu Marriage Act, whether it was 1993 Constitutional Amendment Act, whether it was the Indian Succession Act in 2005. And it was only Congress which brought about these changes after 1993. 2010 also it was passed by Rajya Sabha. Now all other political parties, now they are trying to reach out to Congress because they are themselves corrupt. They have indulged into corrupt activities. They have, at one point of time, they were counting MLAs to Congress. That, okay, out of 500, 600, these many MLAs that they have as small regional political parties, and now they want to have some form of a helping hand from the Congress. The point is, if you are corrupt, if you have indulged into such scams, Congress is not going to come to your support.
But has the Congress used this rule book where you hold a dharna to try and deflect attention from arrests and questionings and probes and interrogations?
Meghna, you cannot compare the National Herald case with what is happening now. That's entirely different. You cannot compare apples and oranges. In the National Herald case, it was the CBI and ED's high-handedness and atrocities. But right now, what is happening is entirely different.
So when it's against Congress, it's high-handedness of the central agencies when it happens to others that you may not be aligned
right now,
then it's probity.
There are a group of political parties which have indulged into tampering of proofs. They indulged into tampering of evidences and all such forms. But was that there in National Herald case? No. In National Herald case,
I can see you look very amused. Apparently, that was all a witch hunt when it came to the National Herald case. Perhaps you should remind Mr. Lokesh Jindal for some of the facts of the case.
Good evening, Meghna. I don't know, it's one of those days, you know.
Both apple and oranges are rotten.
Sir, please, if I...
Both of them happened in the same hotel is what Mr. RP Singh is reminding our viewers. Dr. Ranganathan, come in.
Yes, no, as I was saying, it's one of those days where there is absolute hypocrisy overload. You know, and I request you to tell me whose hypocrisy should I expose first. There is the BRS, its hypocrisy, there is the BJP's hypocrisy, there is the Congress's hypocrisy, and last, please don't thrash me, there is your hypocrisy as well, if you don't mind my saying. So please let me know, shuru kahan se karu?
It's a free forum, Mr. Ranganathan, but then yes, it is one of the bills which has been lying on the back burner since 2008. It really hasn't seen the light, and it doesn't seem anytime soon, despite the dharnas, it's likely to see a light. Because different things are said on camera and different things happen inside the parliament, as we all have seen.
Bilkul, absolutely. Let me start with BRS because they are the ones who are holding this almost rally, protest rally, call it what you may. And, you know, the facts of its previous two elections that it fought, the women contested, the tickets that were given were 6% and 7%. The women's reservation bill demands 33% reservation for women.
Yes.
So please practice what you preach, Mr. Reddy. As far as BJP is concerned, Mr. Singh should realize that these women's reservation bill has been a poll promise, manifesto promise, not just a poll promise. In 2014 by the BJP, 2009 by the BJP, Mr. Advani, and 2019. It is in their manifesto.
Yes.
अब सरकार उनकी है पिछले 9 साल से, तो उन्होंने ये लागू क्यों नहीं किया? As far as Congress is concerned, वो तो hypocrisy तो ऐसे गंगा बह रही है उनकी. You know, Congress is saying that Rahul Gandhi on one hand says that India is not a nation but a union of states. तो भाई union of states में आपके पास 3 states हैं जो कि कांग्रेस के हैं. उनमें 33% रिजर्वेशन लाओ ना. छत्तीसगढ़, राजस्थान और हिमाचल प्रदेश में 33% रिजर्वेशन. And as for Congress working since independence about women's rights, तो भैया शाह बानो के केस में क्या किया था? शाह बानो की राइट्स को क्या किया था आपने? लात नहीं मारी थी? And lastly, Meghna, please don't curse me. When you applauded the BRS for standing up for women's reservation, I just want to ask you, is there a women's reservation amongst the anchors in Times Now?
All I can say is that you can see me here, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, my much senior colleague, Navika Kumar would have been here otherwise. But that's all I'm going to say about it. After all, I'm not the one under scanner, but Ravi Srivastava. Very important point that Dr. Ranganathan has raised. Is this just boiling down to politics and hypocrisy? Be it of the left, the right, the center, each and every successive party, successive government has shown the same apathy towards the women reservation bill. Is it today simply being exploited to meet other political ends and agenda?
Meghna, first of all, Anand is almost an investigator and he has found out that everybody is a hypocrite and there are no issues as such, but they are just trying to browbeat the other one. But the fact is that I can't comprehend that by making a dharna today, how the Kavita is trying to evade the questioning tomorrow. I mean, ultimately the FIR has been filed, the agency has summoned her, agency had summoned Sisodia also, agency has remanded Sisodia also, agency may remand Kavita also. So what is the big deal about it? Why should it be called somebody is trying to threaten? Like Congress did a dharna for 3 days, but did the CBI or the ED stop? No, they didn't interrogate. They took that elderly lady, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, some 75+-year-old, for the questioning in the office. So they do their job.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't like to interrupt, but sorry to interrupt you. Just to interject here. The CBI, as you know very well, in the Rouse Avenue court had said that by constant dharnas, at the time in the context of Aam Aadmi Party and their cadres, the constant dharnas which were being held is intimidating the eyewitnesses. It is a show of strength and of political strength by a party which intimidates eyewitnesses. At times, it can influence them as well and hence impact the probe. That's what the CBI has said. Ravi Srivastava, in answer to you, you're saying that it doesn't have any kind of impact.
No, I can have a counter to it. BJP is also constantly doing the dharna and making the cartoons for the AAP and all that. Are they trying to help the CBI and ED for that matter, which are their agencies? Because the agencies are behaving like a security guard, watchman, or a helper for the BJP. So are they trying to take strengthen their hands by making a dharna in Delhi? Why are they doing it? So AAP did a calculated one day they did it, 2 days they did it.
But you accept it's a calculated one? Would you say it's a calculated one?
Nobody is interfering with the process of the law. Let it carry on. Let it do it. They are doing everything. Now 7 days remand.
I think that was a bit of a dead giveaway, Ravi Srivastava, where you accepted it was indeed a calculated one. And Kailash Adhikari, I'd like to take that point across to you. Is it usually a calculated one? For example, a women's reservation bill, it was not even in the ether. Every party very conveniently doesn't practice it in their own state, regardless of the scope that they could have within the powers that they have within their own state. For example, the BRS. But today, 1 day ahead of the ED, you suddenly have the bahana of women's reservation bill. Jantar Mantar mein now there is a protest, a dharna which has happened. 1 day, the hartal is happening. All of that has happened, incidentally, just 1 day ahead of ED probing the BRS scion.
Absolutely, Meghna. You know, what has happened these days is that over the past 2 years, you can see a lot of opposition leaders. It has become a fashion for them to just spew their anger on the government and the Bharatiya Janata Party or our investigative agencies if they are under any probe or scanner. And now what has been done by Ms. Kavita is that she has taken that entire fashion to the street, by doing this dharna. Now the women's reservation bill is just, I would call, as a shagufa. She's just using it as a means to deflect from the real issue. Now today when the enforcement director was in the Rose Avenue court asking for the custody of Manish Sisodia, it very pertinently pointed out certain issues, that how the entire conspiracy was done, how Mr. Arora was involved, how Mr. Arora met K. Kavita, the entire corporate structure of the company held by one Mr. Arora, how certain kickbacks were received at Den, and how the entire South company, corroborated and were there in the part of that entire conspiracy. Mr. Srivastava, I did not speak when you were speaking. This is not in true gentleman's spirit.
That's all.
No, you always have this habit of coming in between. I was patiently waiting. I patiently waited for 21 minutes for my turn, and you cannot just
I'd like to request all our panelists, everyone will be given due amount of time. We can ensure that there's equitable amount of time being given to all our panelists. Mr. Srivastava, I've asked you 2 questions. You've answered. Now show the same courtesy, I beg you, to Mr. Adhikari.
I'm asking a time.
Thank you, Meghna. Thank you. So, the enforcement directors as well as the CBI has currently pointed out that why do they need the custody? I mean, our investigative agencies, they're run by competent people, they're competent agencies, and they don't have the time to just go behind anyone. I mean, if there is a predicate offense, in the case of an enforcement director, there is a charge sheet and there's an FIR filed by the ED. So
but then why would they be influenced by a dharna either? How does it matter whether or not there is a dharna, Mr. Adhikari? Is what the BRS is saying, even the Congress is saying, let them have dharna.
Why to do a dharna?
Then why would you be scared of a dharna? Let the dharna happen if it is independent. Mr. Adhikari.
Sorry, that question is to me,
yes.
Meghna?
You are saying that these are independent investigative bodies. Then how does it matter if K. Kavita is holding a dharna? Let her.
So she's holding a dharna. Who is objecting to that? No one is objecting to her dharna.
So it's not connected at least to the probe. Now, Mr. Reddy, let me take one of the questions that Mr. Adhikari had pointed out, and it's important that we have your views. One of the charges, what the ED is going to be looking into, and the allegations against her is that she had controlled the South cartel and 30% of the Delhi's liquor market as per the central agencies. Also, that she was part of the group which had allegedly paid 100 crore rupees kickbacks to some of the topmost Aam Aadmi Party leaders, officials and other people in the entire liquor gate policy while it was being drafted. Allegedly, she also bought 32.5% stake in Indo Spirits, and this via some of her proxies. These are very serious charges. And Mr. Reddy, if you really feel that there's nothing wrong in the conduct of your MLC, K. Kavita, then why not welcome the probe? Why go around on cameras calling it witch hunt? If you have nothing to hide, then let the probe continue.
See, we already have told you and told many a times, these are all false allegations. It's a fabricated case. They are trying to implicate our leaders in these cases. Till now in Telangana, this is the election year, the ED and IT has raided more than 13 ministers and MLAs, MPs together, and Kavita ji is the 14th one. So we know BJP will be hunting our leaders. BJP will be sending ED, CBI after our leaders because this is election year, and this will go on.
But the probe isn't over. How do you know that?
Meghna, we never said don't come. We have Kavita ji answered CBI in the past. Again, she's appearing before ED tomorrow. We never went to court asking for a stay like BJP leaders. There were 4 people on the basis of BJP top brass has come to Hyderabad to bribe and purchase our MLAs. After our police booked them, BJP fought for them, took the case to CBI.
So the charges against BJP are true, charges against BRS are false.
Absolutely,
okay.
The cases are false. Before going to the next thing, and Mr. Ranganathan was questioning me, how many people have contested? What is the representation of women in your state? Let me give you some stats, Meghna. Give me 30 seconds uninterrupted.
Okay.
We have 13 municipal corporations, 8 women, 8 are mayors, women mayors. We have 125 municipal, municipalities, out of which 72 municipal chairmen are women. We have 661 corporators, 351 are women. We have 2,849 councillors, 1,520 women. We have 32 Jilla Parishad chairmen, out of which 20 are women. Out of 539 Mandal Parishad presidents, we have 340 women. And out of 539 Jilla Parishad territorial constituency members,
I appreciate that you're going by facts. Mr. Reddy, allow me to give you some facts as well. Some of the statistics. Let me know if I'm wrong. You must correct me if I'm wrong. But as per the statistics, in 2018 Telangana Assembly polls, out of the 119, only 4 women candidates were fielded, which is about 3.3% by the BRS, by your party.
It is so easy
when it comes to Telangana Assembly polls 2014, only 5% were women candidates fielded by your party. Am I right or am I wrong? Also in Lok Sabha polls 2019, there were 2 women who were fielded by your party. Do you have the gumption to say I'm wrong, Mr. Reddy?
Mr. Reddy had his say. Mr. Reddy, please. I did not interrupt you, sir. Please.
Okay, Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
Yes, 2 points.
The facts, they can be very selective, Dr. Ranganathan. Would you agree with that? When selectively quoted.
Mr. Reddy, please.
Mr. Reddy, we just heard you. You gave out a long list of facts. I am trying to give out some facts as well. Now let Dr. Ranganathan respond.
Please allow me.
Yes.
You have not allowed me to complete my statement.
Sir, you just did.
All these people, all these...
Meghna, please, it is my turn. This is very unfair.
Mr. Reddy, here again and again, I don't like to drop faders. Because that is against the very democracy that we people want to fight for. So please, let's at least show some kind of courtesy to the others. Dr. Ranganathan, finish your point.
First of all,
thank you. And just to...
I have not completed my statement. You have interrupted.
Mr. Reddy,
and you are teaching me
Mr. Reddy, please.
Mr. Reddy, you've given us a lot of facts, a lot of stats. Now listen to the other panelists as well. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you.
Next time.
Fine, please go on.
Dr. Ranganathan.
Meghna, for the next time, just a suggestion. There are 6 panelists. You should have 17% time reserved for each one of us. No,
we'll put a timer up, Dr. Ranganathan. Yes, go ahead.
No, just 2 points. You see, I made, because I come prepared with data. I talked about the previous 2. You can replay what I said. Previous 2 Telangana elections, and you corroborated that data. I said far from 33% reservation, Telangana had 7 to 9%. In fact, even less, 5% reservation for women. And Mr. Reddy talked about every other councillor, Zilla Parishad, Panchayat, but he missed out 2 data points. And those two data points were for MLA assembly elections. So he is being selective. Nonetheless, I do applaud. I do applaud Mr. Reddy when he talks about the panchayat and the councillors. It is worthy. But the fact remains what I said is correct. Now, number two. Nobody is groused that the BJP controls the investigative agencies. Meghna, yesterday also I said that 95% of the people investigated are opposition leaders. It is true. Mr. Reddy has also alleged that true. What I want to ask is that there is a Telangana Vigilance Commission. I want to ask Mr. Reddy, as he's so good at statistics, I want to ask him how many BJP politicians has the Telangana Vigilance Commission probed in the last 7 years? Name. Tell me how many. Give me the number.
Mr. Reddy,
give me the number.
Prove Dr. Ranganathan wrong.
Whether it is Telangana Vigilance Commission.
So they are not corrupt. BJP leaders are not corrupt in Telangana.
Ranganathan ji,
are they corrupt, sir? Please tell me.
I wanted to tell you only one thing. Through the whatever probe agencies of the state, we have never gone beyond, behind everybody.
Can you prove him wrong? Can you give names and say, yes, indeed, these are the names? Can you give him names?
Give me the numbers. How many BJP, you said everyone is corrupt. So I am asking you for numbers. How many BJP leaders has the Telangana Vigilance Commission probed in the last 7 years?
One thing, Mr. Ranganathan, you asked me a question. I will tell you only one thing. We allow the ACB, we allow the Vigilance Commission to function independently without any political interference.
Arey bhai, that's what the BJP says about the ED and the CBI also. So that one is really gone. But let me take that point across to Mr. RP Singh, because these are charges again and again that your party faces. That ED is caged and so is the CBI. Why is it that Enforcement Directorate, which wants to summon K. Kavita tomorrow, has a conviction rate of less than 0.5%. Is it true that ahead of Telangana polls, BJP likes to lock up, as alleged, lock up its political opponents? At the end of it, nothing comes out of it, so they let go.
You are not ready to listen. In a MLA bribery case, just 3 months back, we have booked 4 culprits, our ACB booked, and BJP lawyers have advocated on their behalf in the court. They tried for bail, and BJP's National General Secretary, Mr. B.L. Santosh, was also, booked in the case. Okay. He has not come to Telangana. He has not faced our SIT investigation. Instead, they went to court.
We are going to wait and see how many convictions come out of it. But that is the same question that I asked Mr. RP Singh. Mr. Reddy, I think you really had more than your 16%, as Dr. Ranganathan would say. Mr. RP Singh, please can you answer? ED conviction rate stands at 0.4, slightly higher than 0.4, but less than 0.5%. Tomorrow it has summoned K. Kavita.
Mr. Reddy has got 33% time.
Well, it was 0. Well, it was 0% during UPA regime, and don't go by percentage. I mean, there are.
So you want to be like the UPA? I thought the BJP is going to change everything about the Congress. You are the alternative.
Can I complete?
They call themselves a different party.
Can I complete?
What is the difference then?
Can I complete?
Okay. We will allow Mr. RP Singh to complete. Please complete. Please complete. You are saying that UPA also did it. Congress also did it.
You are an extension of Congress.
Thank you. And it's not.
Yes, Mr. RP Singh.
Mr. Sharwasta, please go ahead. Whatever you have to say, please complete. Because he will keep interrupting. He's in bad habit of interrupting.
No, he'll not do that. He'll not do that. Mr. RP Singh, please complete.
Let me quote you, and then give me some time. This in UPA regime, there are 5 cases against Congress by the ED, 3 against the BJP, 7 against TMC, 2 against BSP, 1 against BJD, 1 against YSR, 4 against DMK. In NDA regime, there are 6 cases against BJP, 24 against BJP, TMC 19. So it's not that it's only opposition parties. I mean, whoever is under scanner will be taken care or will be investigated. Okay. And also, Mr. Reddy was talking about some data about the reservation. Give me a second. Reservation in the state, that is mandatory. It's not as per their will. It's not that their party has taken some extra initiative. It's just mandatory as per law.
Yes. You've not done us any favors by having that minimum amount of representation, but serious charges. Let me go across to Mr. Lokesh Jindal. Lokesh Jindal, today the Congress party talks about how ED and CBI is influenced by the centre. You have Mr. RP Singh quoting. How is the Congress different?
Meghna, one thing I want to ask.
Meghna ji, the entire nation knows that BJP has given some form of Suraksha Kavach to Narayan Rane, Suvendu Adhikari. Now Himanta Biswa Sharma, who was charged of corruption, suddenly when he comes to BJP, he becomes the chief minister. Now these are not corrupt anymore. The point is, if you really want to strengthen the credibility of CBI for an ordinary person, for an Aam Aadmi, at least don't be shamelessly using it or not using it for people who were previously charged with corruption. Suvendu Adhikari, he was one of the person accused in the Sharada scam, but the moment he comes to BJP, he's scot-free now. The point is, when the party members are protesting, they are also protesting against this selectivity, this manner of functioning and this arm twisting that BJP indulges into to gain some brownie points.
Congress करे, then it's probity, otherwise it is arm twisting.
No.
Kailash Adhikari, there are different levels, it seems, even for investigation. Depending on who the government is in power and who's on the receiving end of it, Kailash Adhikari. And that's the biggest problem for people like us who go out and vote and we are not sure who's going to be better than the other. Kailash Adhikari.
Meghna, I don't understand. Mr. Lokesh Jindal spoke about Suvendu Adhikari, Narayan Rane or other leaders. India is a country where there is a rule of law. If you feel so aggrieved or if you feel that there's a witch hunt behind you, judiciary is a pillar of our democracy and it is independent. You can definitely approach the courts. I mean, what's wrong in that? You cannot just go on, going around the streets that there's a witch hunt behind me, there's a witch hunt behind me. There's a judiciary. You are a citizen of this country. You are free to approach the courts. The courts are there for everyone. Who's stopping you?
What happens at
But let me go across to Ravi Srivastava. One quick word, final word, because we are running out of time. Ravi Srivastava, there's something interesting that you said. One is like the other, and unfortunately, the twain shall never melt. But they are exactly the same. They all seem to be running along the same parallel lines. You'll have your dharna, you'll play your victim card, and at the end of it, all we get is a lot of politics, very little convictions coming out of it.
Exactly. That is the point. Because the BJP does not want to convict. They only want to make a show of it. They just want to show that these people are as corrupt as we are. They are not different. Aam Aadmi Party is not different. They are doing exactly the same thing what we have been doing for the last 9 years. Exactly the same corruption they are doing. So this is what they want to show to everybody. That's all. That's all. But although they have been beaten severely in Delhi and Punjab and other places, but still they have not learned their lesson and they still want to try with this.
All this drama, all this dharnas being held over the women's reservation when none of these political parties have showed the gumption to come out and push for it. If not push for it, even in their limited scopes within their own states, to implement it. If you all really had the conviction, it would have been implemented. It is still lying in the back burner, unfortunately being used today for political mileage. We're running out of time, so thank you so much all the gentlemen for joining us here on the show. Hopefully this dharna dhamki to deflect scrutiny is something that we can all avoid. That's one of the stories we are going to be looking out for here on Newshour at 9. But here's the next big story. Well, after Soros strike and the BBC blitz, now comes the NYT attack. Repeatedly, India is being bashed and its democracy maligned by the non-state actors and agenda-driven foreign ecosystem. But why? And to what end? Well, this time, once again, it is the New York Times. An opinion piece written by Anuradha Bhasin of the Kashmir Times has sparked this controversy. In her op-ed, she says that the repressive media policies are destroying Kashmiri journalism and media outlets are being intimidated into serving as government mouthpiece. She also says that the government is creating information vacuum in the region of Kashmir of 13 million inhabitants and Kashmir may not survive Prime Minister Modi. The op-ed also alleges that digital media amendments have been made to block content that the Modi government does not like, that these are just some of the claims being made against the Indian government. However, the opposition has wholeheartedly endorsed this propaganda, as it has been called out by the BJP, hailing it as the absolute truth.
If a line or two or a paragraph, something get published in any newspaper, media, and they say that Modi ji ka danka baj raha hai, and if the things go against them, then they say that it's a propaganda. It's such a contradiction. Now the truth is being covered by them because they are not in, they don't accept the truth. What they accept is that one side, that there should be praise and no negative side or real side should be shown.
ये हकीकत है कि जो प्रेस की आज़ादी है उसको बिल्कुल सल्ब करके रखा गया, एक किस्म की इमरजेंसी लगी हुई है। किसी ने थोड़ी सी आज़ादी से बोला नहीं तो उसके पीछे पुलिस वाला खड़ा हो जाता है। मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि ये ऐसा नहीं चलता।
But is the NYT trying to paint fiction as facts? Let's put out some of the data. It has hailed the separatist leader Syed Ali Shah Gilani as one of the towering figures of separatism. What it does not say is that NC had accused the Gilani of being on ISI's payroll. In fact, he was charged with sedition in 2010. A case of FEMA violation was also registered against him in 2019. This article also equates the BBC survey to suppression of facts. What it does not say is that the Income Tax Department sources had said that the BBC was non-compliant with its rules of India. Also, there is non-compliance in the transfer pricing rules and deliberate diversion of amounts for profit was the allegation on it. It also says that thousands of innocents' homes were bulldozed and they were left homeless. However, what it does not say is that one of the homes belonged to Ashik Nengru, for example. His home too was demolished. Nengru was an accused in the Pulwama attack. Ghulam Nabi Khan's house was also razed. Ghulam Nabi was designated a terrorist under UAPA. These important parts are also not pointed out in this article. But let's remind you of NYT's rather checkered past as well. Should it be the goalpost when it comes to what truth is? Remember, NYT was called out for its political bias for not adequately reporting on allegations of corruption against Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. NYT gave an open platform to Asif Ali Zardari in 2008, the then president of Pakistan, to distance his government from the 26/11 attacks. NYT gave an open platform to Imran Khan to attack India's abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, something which was completely an internal matter. NYT had described Jammu and Kashmir as living hell of anger and fear in August 2019. NYT had claimed in May 2021 that India's COVID death toll is the worst in the world and could be more than 10 times what was officially reported. NYT was also forced to apologize for its cartoon mocking the Mangalyaan in October 2014. But let's also remind you of the antecedents of the author of this article, Anuradha Bhasin. Well, she is a frequent attendee of ISI-sponsored events as per some of the agencies. Also, she has openly backed ISI operations led by Ghulam Nabi Fai. He is, of course, one of the convicts and firmly absolved Fai in the receiving funds from ISI. Invited to an event where Fai was also presented as one of the speakers. She, of course, is the daughter of Ved Bhasin, who is a staunch supporter and known supporter of ISI operations in Kashmir. Fai even had written a piece on Ved Bhasin after his death. In that obit, he had glorified Ved Bhasin. Ved Bhasin, remember, had also attended ISI-funded events. All of this is part of the facts.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining us today on the show, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, and author Majid Hydari is also joining us, a political analyst. Majid Hydari, my first question is going to be for you. We have seen after Soros, there's been Hindenburg, there has been Washington Post articles, now there is New York Times yet again. Is this a concerted strike of non-state actors actively maligning India and its democracy when they are far removed from it?
Well, Meghna Saga, firstly, what you forgot to tell worthy viewers about the New York Times is that on Gandhi Jayanti in 2019, there was an article, why India and the world need Gandhi. And that article for New York Times was written by none other than our worthy Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi ji. But you didn't tell that, because that day New York Times was supposed to be a good paper. The other day is supposed to be the bad paper. And I'll seek a reply to this from Dr. Ranganathan. But second point, yes, verily, there's ruthless corruption in Jammu and Kashmir administration. Modi ji's funds are being looted, but the newspaper, whichever writes against corruption, is denied government advertisements, and any whistleblower or journalist who speaks against that corruption, which is root of Modi ji's Amit Shah ji's funding, are harassed. So those are the two typical pictures which I believe Anuradha Bhasin wanted to highlight, because maybe she is also victim, that she is not getting her share of advertisements, the government advertisements, because government advertisement has become a new conspiracy against the Modi government, that the one who writes against corruption is denied government advertisement, and the journalist who speaks against corruption is harassed. So it is something for Modi ji to check what is wrong with J&K administration. It's not me to blame anybody, but yes, one important point, when you talk about New York Times,
well, it's interesting. You use the word, Majid Haidari, victim. You use the word victim. Let me go across to Sushil Pandit also, who's joining us. He's an activist. Sushil Pandit, because you too are a representative of Kashmir, auntie. Who decides who's the true representative, who is the fake representative? Do you share the views of Anuradha Bhasin? My simple question.
I mean, far from it. Anuradha Bhasin is the daughter of her father, Ved Bhasin. And as they say, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Ghulam Nabi Fai wrote a fawning obituary when Ved Bhasin died. It appeared in Kashmir Times. And you know who Ghulam Nabi Fai is? Ghulam Nabi Fai was arrested by United States of America for spying in US on behalf of ISI, and he served time there. He is the one who organized conference circuits, junkets for Indian journalists, retired bureaucrats, and busybodies in NGOs to come and conference on J&K, on Kashmir, on occupation of India in Kashmir, on human rights violations in Kashmir, in the garb of representing people. This is who Anuradha Bhasin is. Show me one article she has written all her life about the genocide of Hindus in Kashmir Valley. Show me one article about human rights violations of Kashmiri Muslims within Kashmir at the hands of jihadis. She is and has always been a Hurriyat representative in media debates. She has always represented a separatist point of view. Even when Hurriyat is, she has never let us feel the absence of Hurriyat in media debates. She has always represented a separatist point of view. And this is a continuation of the legacy she represents in the newspaper and her own father.
That legacy continues, and one of the things, and I must point this out to Dr. Anand Ranganathan also, I'll come back to you, Majid Haidari. One of the things that she had said, that her own newspaper office was stormed, then they locked it up. Again, one of the selective things which was not pointed out in this article was that building was sealed in question, was allotted to Ved Bhasin, her father, by the government. Her father in 1994, then the government reserves the right to take it back after the death of the allottee. That is what had happened. Do you think that you can look at Anuradha Bhasin as a neutral observer and unbiased journalist reporting the facts on the ground as NYT would have us believe?
Meghna, she is as much a neutral observer as Pakistani umpires of the 1980s. Look, where else would a propagandist write but in a pamphlet produced by a propaganda factory called the NYT? I wouldn't even honestly wrap my kachoris in New York Times for fear of all that toxicity bleeding onto them. To paraphrase Kennedy, ask not how these journalists became frauds, Meghna. Ask how these frauds became journalists. The New York Times as well as the Kashmir Times are methane-spewing landfills of lies, fraud, selectivity, employing the dregs of the society, unemployables, urban Naxal academics, Nepo dynasty doormats and ISI stooges. These are the same journalists who hailed, as you said, Saeed Shah Gilani as a hero. Let me quote Gilani, their hero. Number one, this is what he said verbatim. India is a bigger enemy of Islam and Muslims than even Israel. 2, Muslims are a qawm wholly separate from the Hindus. The basis of the unity is Islam and Islam alone. 3, accession to India would result in the Kashmiri Muslims having to live perpetually under Hindu slavery. 4, Kashmir must become an Islamic state, unquote. These are the same journalists, Meghna, and their children who were silent when refugee Melu Ram, one of the 2 lakh West Pakistan refugees who ran for their lives and settled in Kashmir, when Melu Ram and his children were barred from local jobs and welfare schemes. When Dalit Radhika Gill, her family was brought to Kashmir to work as sweepers in 1957, Radhika cleared the BFS entrance exam, but Radhika could only get a job as a sweeper because she wasn't a domicile. When for 70 years the human rights of lakhs of Dalits, Gurkhas, women, Sikhs, refugees were brutally trampled upon by the state and its politicians like Farooq Abdullah delighted in saying, and I quote him, they want to abolish 370 and we'll remain silent. Inshallah, we will fight. We dare them. Allah would want that we gain independence from India, unquote. These are the same journalists, just 30 seconds, who were silent when they, 3 years ago, Supreme Court diabolically rejected reopening cases of criminal atrocity against Kashmiri Hindus because, quote, too much time had elapsed. And these same journalists are silently seething now because while 3 years to 2019, 3686 law and order incidents occurred in Kashmir, 3 years since 2019, the number is only 430. Terror attacks have reduced by 40% in 2018. Navika, sorry, Meghna, just 10 seconds. But there is one thing one has learned over the years. It is that you cannot cure these propagandists. They are like the Rakt Beej. Their every drop of blood spawns more of the same. Final 10 seconds. There are 3 panelists you have right now. I pose one question. I will answer. Sushil will answer. I want my good friend Majid to answer. I will say Saeed Shah Gilani was a terrorist. Ask Sushil Pandit this question, whether he was a terrorist, and then ask Majid Hadri this question.
Majid Hadri, direct question being put to you. Would you venture to answer?
It's really a logical question. That when Dr. Ranganathan says that New York Times is a pamphlet even not worth wrapping a kachori, why did my honorable Prime Minister, the tallest leader of world's largest democracy, write for that pamphlet which is even not worth a kachori? And second point, very important.
I don't think Dr. Ranganathan is going to be answering on the Prime Minister's decision to write in any article. But Majid Hadri, one direct question was asked to you. Can you please answer that?
Please answer that question.
No, the bigger question is that he has tried to malign the image of our democracy. He said that our Prime Minister wrote an article for a pamphlet which is even not worth kachori, and I take very strong exception to that.
Majid Hadri,
he is not Muslim. Anand bhai, come out.
Syed Ali Shah Gilani, as per Dr. Ranganathan, is a terrorist. He wants to ask if you will openly call him out today.
What I know is that there are newspapers in Jammu which are Modi bugs which say na khaunga na khane dunga, but they are denied advertisements because they write against corruption.
Arey Majid Hadri, you want me to repeat the same question? Should I keep repeating the same question? Acha, I'll ask you a second question. I'll ask you a separate question. You clearly don't want to answer that. I'll ask you a different question. I'll change the question, Majid Hadri. You're not giving me an answer. Anuradha Bhasin, you say that she's fair, impartial. She's talking about the Kashmiris. How much of investigative work has she done about the Hindu genocide which has happened in Kashmir? Tell us about, list us.
Firstly, MHA has never declared Syed Ali Gilani as being a terrorist. Neither a terrorist nor a designated terrorist. So
no one said that she has. That question was for you, Majid Hadri.
Law does not go by emotional speech. First point.
That question was for you, Majid Hadri, but I asked you a different question. Anuradha Bhasin, what has she done for the Hindus who I think all of us have accepted have been victimized? They face one of the longest pogroms in the world. What is the investigative work which has been done? What is the fight for justice that the Kashmir Times has done for them?
Meghna, ask him if Hurriyat was a separatist organization.
Here's another question for you. Is Hurriyat a separatist organization? Sushil Pandit wants to know. Answer to kar dijiye, Majid Hadri. There are so many questions for you don't want to answer.
You have bitten more than you can chew. You have bitten more than you can chew, Hadri Saab.
Okay, Sushil Pandit has...
You got exposed, my brother. My brother, you got exposed tonight. Anuradha Bhasin is not a Muslim. Please understand it, please. Thank you.
Honestly speaking, I don't understand why her religion has anything to do with it. But Sushil Pandit was asking you a question. Okay, Sushil Pandit, go ahead.
Hurriyat office was inaugurated by Meghna's father in Jammu 20 years ago. Can you believe this? Hurriyat that stands banned today, Hurriyat whose leadership is in the jail today, Hurriyat that presided over our genocide in Kashmir.
Hurriyat has not been banned. Please don't tell lies on the national TV, please. Please don't support
What are you
government for the
saying?
sake of it. Hurriyat has not been banned. You are lying through your teeth on the show. This is unfair. We are on national TV. Don't spread lies.
The entire Hurriyat leadership is in jail.
On very serious charges of terror funding, and that, if I may remind you, all the top brass is in jail on very serious charges of terror funding, funds coming straight from Pakistan and ISI.
These are two facts.
Majid
Hurriyat was
Haidari.
never banned and Sayyid Ali Gilani was never a
What
designated
according to
terrorist.
you
These
is the
are two
Hurriyat?
facts.
Will you call it a separatist organization, a secessionist organization, Majid Haidari?
I'll condemn BJP government for not having banned Hurriyat. Can you tell me why Hurriyat has not been banned? Is there some fixed match between BJP and Hurriyat? You want me to spill the beans on the show?
Okay.
Everybody
Dr.
knows
Anand
what BJP's
Ranganathan,
connection has been.
Dr. Anand Ranganathan, in all fairness, that's a fair point. Hurriyat leadership by successive governments have been patronized. From the heads of the states to even former prime ministers, they have been patronized. They've gone and given this long leash. So what if today one person comes out and says that Hurriyat, you have the towering figure of Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani. What's wrong? There are former prime ministers who've met him.
Meghna Sahiba,
Majid Sahib, please give me time.
Hey, Dr. Ranganathan, we are running out of time, Majid Haidari. I think you've had your say, Dr.
Majid
Ranganathan,
Haidari,
quickly.
this is unfair. This is unfair, Majid Sahib. Please give me time. And I'm going to answer you. I'm going to answer you. Meghna, can I please?
Go ahead, Dr. Ranganathan.
You know, unlike the twinkle toes Mr. Majid Haidari, I don't shirk away from answering questions, and that is how I'm built. So I'll answer all the three questions. I completely condemn and castigate the BJP. I have for not banning PFI, which they did. I've been condemning the I condemn it for not declaring Hurriyat as a terrorist organization. I condemn it for not, declaring Sayyid Shah Gilani as a terrorist. Okay? Number two, I also condemn Narendra Modi for writing for New York Times, but I know I have already said this before. It is for him.
Candid, very fair, very candid answer by Dr. Ranganathan. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, but the big question continues to remain. Who and why has been fueling the anti-India hate, especially in the international ecosystem? I leave it there. Thank you so much, all our viewers, for joining us, all our panelists for putting your views forth here on Newshour at 9.
You were watching the News Hour at 9. Stay tuned.
Partnering with organizations, NGOs to increase the participation of women in the commercial driving space. And once we feel that we have critical mass, we can definitely think of launching something like that.
थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो। कोई सवाल अगर आपका इनमें से आपको पूछने का दिल था और हमने जवाब दे दिया तो लिख के बताइए। कोई सवाल जो आपका है और आपको लगता है हम जवाब दे सकते हैं तो उस सवाल को भी कमेंट बॉक्स में लिखिए। बाकी ऐसे और वीडियोस देखने के लिए सब्सक्राइब टू गैजेट टाइम्स।
जिस उम्र में उन्हें स्टिक पकड़ना चाहिए उसी उम्र में हमारी दादी माँ किताबें पढ़ती है।
आजीबाईच्या शाळेमध्ये आल्यापासून माझं आयुष्य बदलूनच गेलं आणि मला खूप आनंद वाटायला लागला। मलाच नाही तर सगळ्या आज्यांना आनंद वाटायला लागला।
मेरा नाम योगेंद्र शांताराम बांगर है और मैं प्राइमरी टीचर का काम करता हूँ। यह जो आजीबाई शाला जो है यह स्कूल दुनिया का पहला स्कूल है और सभी स्कूल से अलग है। आप देखते हैं कि बच्चों के लिए स्कूल होता है, युवाओं के लिए स्कूल होता है, महिलाओं के लिए भी स्कूल है, लेकिन जो दादी माँ है, बुजुर्ग है, उनके लिए ऐसा कोई स्कूल नहीं है। इसीलिए उनको शिक्षा देने के लिए वो दादी को हमने चुना। यह पूरा जो गांव है हमारा फांगणे गांव एक परिवार के जैसे यह उपक्रम मनाते हैं। उस समय छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज जी के चरित्र का पठन हो रहा था, तो यह सुनने के लिए हमारे गांव के 30 दादी माँ जो है, जो उनके जमाने में कभी स्कूल में गई नहीं थी, उन्हें पढ़ाई लिखना उन्हें आता नहीं था, वह भी बैठी थी। वह मेरे पास आई और मुझे बोलने लगी कि सर देखो, सभी अच्छी तरह से पढ़ाई यहाँ करती है, अगर हमें भी लिखना पढ़ना आता।
You're watching the News Hour at 9.
At least 6 YouTube channels have been blocked by the central government for allegedly promoting pro-Khalistan sentiments in India. In a crackdown against pro-Khalistan sympathizer Amritpal Singh, the CISF has nabbed Gurinder Pal Singh at the airport. He looked after Amritpal's social media. Trouble mounts for Gurmeet Ram Rahim. An FIR has now been registered in Jalandhar. He has been accused of inciting religious sentiments. ED conducted searches in Uttar Pradesh and Mumbai, including the properties linked to Lalu Yadav and his family members. Enforcement Directorate raided premises of RJD leader Syed Abu Dojana in Pulwari Sharif. Dojana is considered to be a close aide of Lalu Prasad Yadav.
You were watching the News Hour at 9. Stay tuned.
आता तो हम भी या आनंद में हिस्सा ले सकते हैं। उन्होंने बताया हुआ जो कुछ दुख है, इसका रूपांतर जो है वह सुख में करने के लिए मैंने सोचा कि 8 मार्च 2016 वर्ल्ड वुमेन डे है। लोग एक दिन महिला का सम्मान करते हैं, इसीलिए ये दादी माँ स्कूल की शुरुआत उसी दिन हुई। हमारे स्कूल में जो दादी माँ है उनका एज ग्रुप 60 से 94 ईयर है। 2 बजे स्कूल स्टार्ट होता है तो वह 2 बजे से पहले ही सभी दादी माँ इधर अपनी जो तैयारी है, अपना जो कुछ होमवर्क है वह सब करके यहाँ आती है। ये स्कूल के अलावा ये दादी माँ के बहुत ही ऐसे उपक्रम हम यहाँ करते हैं। ये सभी दादी माँ को काशी यात्रा भी हम करके लाए हैं। यहाँ उन्हें पढ़ाई लिखना इतना ही नहीं तो उनके जीवन में आनंद कैसा आए, इसीलिए उनको किधर घुमाना है या और कुछ करना है। इतना ही नहीं तो उनका मेडिकल कैंप भी हम हमेशा रखते हैं। कोई दादी माँ बीमार पड़े तो उसको भी हम अच्छी तरह से मदद करते हैं। तो बहुत ही उनके जिंदगी में जो ज्ञान उपयुक्त है वह सब उन्हें यहाँ बताया जाता है। अच्छे तरह से जीवन कैसा बिताना चाहिए, अपना जीवन आरोग्यपूर्ण कैसा होना चाहिए, कोई बीमारी से किस तरह से झगड़ना चाहिए। इतना ही नहीं, बीमार
ग्रे along with yellow और कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग डिजाइन आपको फ्रेम्स पर
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the News Hour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Today, Manish Sisodia was sent to 7 days of ED custody. This after the agency said in court that it needed to question him further and even confront him with other persons connected to the liquor policy case. In addition to that, the agency also said that it needs to follow the money trail and trace the proceeds of crime, which add up to at least 292 crore rupees. Through all of this, the Aam Aadmi Party continued to eulogize Manish Sisodia, comparing him to everyone from Maharana Pratap to Shahid Bhagat Singh to Lord Ram himself. But all of that was to not much avail, because in its order that came late today evening, the Rouse Avenue Court has actually justified the arrest of the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister. In its order, here's what the court said. It said that there is nothing to suggest that the accused's arrest, that is, the arrest of Manish Sisodia, is in violation of the PMLA or illegal in any fashion. The court also says that it is prima facie convinced that the accused's arrest is justified because power to seek remand is essentially a part of the ED's power to conduct investigation. Since the Enforcement Directorate has submitted that the accused has been totally evasive and non-cooperative during interrogation, hence the court has granted them 7 days custody of Mr. Sisodia for further interrogation. In light of all this, can the Aam Aadmi Party still say that the arrest of Mr. Sisodia is vendetta and agenda-driven? Is the eulogizing of Mr. Sisodia as Lord Ram an effort to try and now deify him and sidestep the facts of the case? And given the court's judgment today, should we then presume that the ED has actually managed to put together a convincing enough case against the former Delhi Deputy CM?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, Joining us on the debate, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, Namit Saxena, advocate on record in the Supreme Court, political analyst Sanjeev Kaushik will be joining us in just a bit. Krishank, spokesperson of the BRS, is joining us. Vivek Srivastav, political analyst. To you, I want to ask the first question, and actually let me quote to you from what the Rouse Avenue Court has said. Point number 16, where the court says, in view of the background given by the Enforcement Directorate, the court is prima facie convinced that the arrest of the accused in this case is justified, and the ED has powers to seek custody of the accused for his further examination and interrogation. What happens now to the argument that this is vendetta? Here is the court saying that the arrest is justified.
Okay. I'm not trying to support Manish Sisodia, neither do I support corruption. However, I would like to speak very generally. Number one, the government and the investigating agencies are very, very selective. That is my first charge. When it is Narda, Sharda, when it is their own people.
Sir, with the greatest of respect, please let's talk about specifics at some time.
Mr. Adani is being protected.
We have been going on and on over the last several years talking about generalities.
Yes,
I am not talking about investigating agencies or the BJP. I am quoting to you simply from a court order. For your benefit, I will quote further from this order, which also says it has been specifically submitted in the ED's application that custodial interrogation of the accused is a must, since during the course of his examination, he has been totally evasive and non-cooperative, and he did not disclose the true facts and rather came up with answers that have been found entirely in contrast and contradiction to oral and documentary evidence collected so far. This is what the court is saying in its order. So please let's talk about specifics of what the court has said.
I read it. Absolutely, I'll be specific. I read it. Please try to understand one thing, Padmaja. In our country, the court responds to what information it is fed by the investigating agencies. Please try to understand. And again, you will say I'm going into generals, but whether it was the Jamia case, or it was the JNU case, or it was the Delhi riots case, whatever were the charge sheets that were filed, many of them were later on quashed by the government and many people were let go who were not guilty. That's the first part. And we all know about it. Now, in this particular case also, it's an economic crime. That is the first part. It is, I mean, it all comes under the view of a financial fraud, as the BJP and the rival parties are trying to call it.
Actually, it's money laundering because PMLA has been applied.
Please try to understand.
Yes.
It is not the kind of
it's money laundering, sir. PMLA.
No, I'm not saying that. But all I'm trying to tell, in money laundering, in a financial fraud case, I mean, the money trail is very clear. It is very visible. It does not need days and days and days of remand. The first remand was going to be over. Mischievously, the ED stepped into picture.
Okay, so because this is a legal point that you have raised, let me get in Namit Saxena on this. Good point. Namit Saxena, as an advocate on record, and this has been said again and again, it's all very well, and this, by the way, was also argued by Mr. Sisodia's counsel today, that you have gone on over the last 2 weeks, you have arrested Mr. Sisodia, you have confronted him, you have questioned him, but not one paisa has been recovered. Where is the money trail? And in order to avoid answering this question, the ED has conveniently named Vijay Nair as a representative of Manish Sisodia. Where is the money?
See, for the offense of money laundering, getting the trail of money takes some time. See, these are intelligent crimes where, money, where you launder money. And there are 3 stages in money laundering, and 2 stages are layering and integration. So the investigating agency is bound to unfold the layers which are there, and extraordinary circumstances require extraordinary measures. That is why I say that custody of this particular gentleman, this particular accused, is necessary. That was the court has also sounded. Because in such a case where you have to unfold the layers and to reach a conclusion that where money was integrated, in what particular hands money was collected and how money was floated, it is required that you unfold these layers. And that is where the court also says that custodial interrogation is required because he is evasive, because see, we have to understand this. See, these are very intelligent crimes. And when there are evidences, when there are allegations of destroying the evidence to, take out the money trail, to take out, by phones, etc., removing the trail as to what has actually happened. So it is there where
you happened for a long time, Padmaja.
More important.
And what are they going to do now? Start beating him up?
No, actually they have laid out what they are going to do. They have got officers, former officers, excise officers who are going to be confronted with Mr. Sisodia. There is a possibility that he is going to be confronted with Ms. K. Kavita. He is going to be confronted with other people who are also currently under arrest. And just by the way, since you are talking about him being beaten up, do you know that the court in its order has said that he is going to be questioned, 1, under CCTV surveillance, 2, every day he is going to talk for 15 minutes to his counsel, 3, he is going to be allowed to meet his family. So for anyone who thinks that he is going to be beaten, he can confide in his counsel and his family, and his questioning will take place under the gaze of a CCTV camera. Mr. Srivastav.
It's an harassment technique. All I can see is it is just harassment. It's a financial trail that the investigating agency needs to come out with. You can keep on make the man under remand for the next 30 days, and if you are saying that he is evasive, he will still be evasive.
Well, so, then either you are saying that the court in Delhi is complicit in this harassment, or that it doesn't know the law well enough to discern between harassment and the letter of the law. Because the court has seemed to think at this point that following the letter of the law, this is perfectly justified for the time being. But who's to know, Sanju Verma, that tomorrow this may not fall through. By then, Mr. Sisodia will have already been in jail for close to a month. He spent his Holi in jail. He will stay almost a month in jail.
Okay. Thank you, Padmaja. I heard Vivek Srivastav, and I just have this to say, because I think the lawyer on your panel has put forth the legal angle to this entire issue. I have a couple of things here which I want to put forth to your audience. Everybody who says that, Manish Sisodia is being victimized and there is witch hunting and vendetta and crying wolf, BJP is misusing central agencies, I want them to know that there was a historic judgment. Of course, that judgment has been petitioned against. But on the 27th of July 2022, the Supreme Court said 2 very important things while giving a judgment and dismissing 241 petitions from leaders across the spectrum who said that the PMLA should be disbanded. It said that under the PMLA Act, Section 24, there is the reverse burden of proof. Normally, in any case, you are innocent till proven guilty. But when the PMLA case comes in case of an accused, you are guilty till proven innocent. So under Section 24 of the PMLA Act of 2002, Manish Sisodia has to prove he is not guilty, he is innocent. The CBI or the ED do not have to prove much as per what the Act states currently. And there is Section 45 of the PMLA Act of 2002, which says that when an accused is arrested by the authorities, he or she immediately becomes subject to an offence which is cognizable and non-bailable. These are 2 very important provisions. So for you to sit here and lecture the BJP saying ED and CBI are being misused, I want to ask just one very simple question to Vivek Srivastav. I won't be very verbose. Prime Minister Modi was hounded for 20 long years for the Gujarat rights case. He was given a clean chit first by the Sessions Court in Gujarat, then by the Magistrates Court, Ahmedabad High Court. He was given a clean chit by the Supreme Court on 3 different occasions. And still people continue to hound him till this day, despite on the 25th of June 2022, the Supreme Court clearly saying there was no criminal conspiracy by Narendra Modi. Do you still not hound him? Do you not still hound Amit Shah?
Okay, quickly respond to that, Vivek Srivastav. Then I want to bring in Mr. Kaushik. Yes.
Sanju Verma, the nature of crimes was very different. There was a program, a mass murder, which could have been state-sponsored, and that is when investigations were done. And this is a different case. This is a money laundering case.
Supreme Court.
This is a money laundering case. They are different things.
Bona fides.
This, as the lawyer on the panel just said, if it is a crime, it's an intelligent crime.
The nature of the crime may be very different, sir, but still both of them are tried under the Indian law. Be that as it may, let me bring in Mr. Kaushik. Mr. Kaushik, under the PMLA, the burden of proof is on the accused, and in the present case, at least so far, the court hasn't found that Mr. Sisodia has been able to prove himself innocent. Point number 1. Point number 2, there are 6 factors listed in the court's order
which has convinced the court enough to say कि अभी उनका इन्वेस्टिगेशन और इंटेरोगेशन बिल्कुल जायज है। 6 पॉइंट्स लिस्ट किए गए हैं। Let me list out those points to you. 1. Specific evidence has come on record during investigation that shows the accused got incorporated certain material clauses in excise policy which weren't even discussed in the GOM meeting. Group of ministers की meeting में कुछ discuss नहीं हुआ, excise policy में आ गया. Clauses were allegedly inserted by him for benefit of South liquor lobby. Specifically alleged that also found disclosed by approver that huge amount of advance kickbacks of 100 crores paid by South lobby. Out of the total amount, an amount of around 20 to 30 crores was transferred through co-accused Abhishek Boinpalli. It has been revealed that accused played vital role in creating a cartel which was formed between liquor manufacturers, wholesalers and retailers, and finally that the accused stands accused of destruction of digital evidence out of 14 mobile phones used by him during the relevant period of 1 year. तो 6 ऐसे बिंदु यहाँ पर ऑर्डर में हैं जहाँ पर कोर्ट कह रहा है कि ठीक है, अभी हमें लग रहा है कि इनका कस्टडी और इंटेरोगेशन जायज है। मिस्टर कौशिक, हाउ कैन यू स्टिल कॉल इट वेंडेटा? ये कोर्ट कह रहा है।
पद्मजा, देश के लोगों को ये जानना जरूरी है कि सीबीआई और ईडी की कार्यप्रणाली क्या है। सीबीआई वो एजेंसी है जो दिल्ली पुलिस के अधीन या उसी एक्ट के तहत उसका निर्माण किया गया, वो 100% वो केंद्र सरकार के अधीन आती है। उसको क्या क्या कहा गया सारे लोग जानते हैं। रही बात ईडी की, तो जिस पीएमएलए की बात हो रही है उसके अगेंस्ट में आपको जानकारी होगी ही कि 250 से ज़्यादा याचिकाएं कोर्ट में लगी हुई हैं, केवल इस वजह से कि उसको जो अधिकार दी गई है वो अधिकार कुछ इतने खतरनाक है कि सबसे पहले वो आपको गिरफ्तार करेगी, पकड़ेगी, ले
जाएगी,
उसको ये अधिकार।
Why you dancing around the subject? ठीक है, ईडी सीबीआई सरकार के अधीन है।
मैं उसी पे आ रहा हूँ।
कोर्ट तो सरकार के अधीन नहीं है।
मैं उसी पे आ रहा हूँ। और दूसरी बात जिसके बारे में आपने 6 बिंदुओं के बारे में बात की, कोई भी नीति जब बनाई जाती है तो किसी एक व्यक्ति के हाथ में वो नीतियाँ नहीं होती है, अधिकारी बनाता है। और दिल्ली के बारे में तो खास करके ये कहा जाता है कि बगैर एलजी साहब के साइन किए हुए किसी तरह की कोई नीतियाँ बनाई नहीं जा सकती।
नहीं
तो क्या एलजी साहब ने भी बगैर पढ़े
इसमें भी ऑर्डर में लिखा गया है,
साइन किया, क्या उनको जानकारी नहीं थी?
क्योंकि मनीष जी एक्साइज मिनिस्टर थे, पूरी जो नीति बननी थी वो बननी तो ग्रुप ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स में थी, पर वो मीटिंग ही नहीं हुई और एक नोट दे दिया गया उनके सेक्रेटरी को, एक्साइज सेक्रेटरी को, और उनको बोला गया ये है पॉलिसी, जाओ, ये पॉलिसी है जो कि जीओएम में डिस्कस नहीं हुई। तो उन्होंने क्लॉजेस इंसर्ट कराए एट द behest ऑफ द साउथ ग्रुप, ये कोर्ट कह रहा है।
May I respond to him, please?
मूल बात यह है कि सीबीआई के गिरफ्त में एक आदमी है, जो आदमी बताता है कि कुछ रकम 2000 तो 4000 5000 रकम किसी और को दिए गए, उसका एविडेंस उसके पास भी नहीं है, ये रकम भी दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है। ईडी का काम क्या है?
अभी तो खैर वो ईडी की गिरफ्त में है, बट जस्ट अ सेकंड, आपने जो एक लीगल पॉइंट रेज किया है, लेट मी टेक दैट अगेन टू नमित सक्सेना। नमित सक्सेना, इज इट पॉसिबल दैट दीज आर पीसेस ऑफ एविडेंस दैट हैव सो फार बीन प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय द ईडी? Now, the court is only judging the case on the basis of what it has seen. Tomorrow it can find that all of this evidence is also trumped up. Has there not been cases where either the court at a later date has said this evidence is not good enough, or even at the level of trial the court has said कि आपने evidence लाया है मेरे सामने ED, but this is बकवास evidence, case खारिज. Today, if the court wanted, they could have said that Mr. Sisodia's case is totally trumped up by ED, right?
Yes. See, at this stage, the court is only required to see whether the requirement, the criteria for taking somebody into custody are fulfilled or not. That is Section 19 of the PMLA Act. So the court has said that the ingredients of Section 19 are fulfilled. So at this stage, I can't say that the custody or the remand is illegal. And the court cannot actually look into evidence. See, this is the evidence collecting stage. The
so
court
again to stop you there, at this point the court is only talking about procedure to say कि हाँ बहुत ज़्यादा evidence है, ये guilt का संकेत है, that would also be premature and wrong.
Yes. Because the investigating agency is still collecting evidence. They are saying that we want to collect further evidence, we want to extract something from him. That is why we need to do custodial interrogation of this particular accused. So please grant that. This is what the ED has said. The court cannot parachute itself to reach a stage of evidence or to synchronize evidence at this stage at all. That would have been illegal. So the court at this stage has only said that that the ED has taken into custody. The ED has produced him before me. I say that at this stage, prima facie, there is sufficient material against him that this particular gentleman be sent to custodial interrogation for a period of 7 days with ED.
Okay, so Sanju Verma, it's too early to be celebrating because right now the court has only validated the procedure that the ED has undertaken. Tomorrow they can well look at the evidence given by ED and say, sorry, this doesn't add up. Mr. Sisodia is completely innocent. Sanju Verma. That is still a very important possibility.
Let me be very forthright with you. The BJP is not celebrating because Manish Sisodia is behind bars, nor is the BJP going to start shedding tears, crocodile or otherwise, if he continues to be behind bars. I know this sounds very cliched, but I've said this in the past and I'll say for whatever it is worth, that the law of the land is taking its course. If Manish Sisodia is indeed innocent, and the ED and the CBI cannot prove a watertight case against him, then he will go scot-free. Why the brouhaha, why the halablu, why the victim card which is being taken out after every few hours saying कि अरे बीजेपी हमसे डर गई, नरेंद्र मोदी अरविंद केजरीवाल से डर गए, आप 1.5 स्टेट में राज कर रहे हो और बीजेपी जो 16 स्टेट्स में जो सत्ता में है आपसे डर गई. बोलने से पहले थोड़ा सोच समझ कर बोलिए. And I will just quickly end by saying one very important thing. I believe, and I'm sure the lawyer on your panel will corroborate this, in any case, in any part of the world, the witness is paramount. And I hope people do not forget that under section 306 of the CRPC, the ED actually took consent from the Delhi High Court to make Dinesh Arora an approver, and Dinesh Arora has clearly named Manish Sisodia, and the other person who has not only named Manish Sisodia, but also Arvind Kejriwal is Sukesh Chandrasekhar. And before people say, Sukesh Chandrasekhar is the con man. So let me tell you that what the Supreme Court said in its historic verdict on 27 July.
No, but since you're talking about the supremacy of the witness, hold on a second. I'm glad you brought up the witness because the other very important name, hold on a second, which was taken was of Arun Ramchandra Pillai, who also spoke of this South group and the connect with Manish Sisodia. Today, Mr. Pillai has put in a petition before the court saying, I want to withdraw my statement because it was taken under duress and coercion. Tomorrow it could happen to other witnesses also. It could happen to approvers also.
Let me come to that, Padmaja. Let me come to that. Let me finish what I was saying.
Absolutely.
Dinesh Arora's statement, please let me finish. Dinesh Arora's statement clearly indicting Manish Sisodia and saying that a surreptitious cabinet note, was not even passed. Suddenly he saw that, the excise policy found its way into a GOM note with various lacunae and loopholes. Dinesh Arora has not changed his statement, and mind you, Sukesh Chandrasekhar today has also named Manish Sisodia and said कि अभी तो अरविंद केजरीवाल की भी बारी है, and the court has said that under the Indian Evidence Act of 1872, even if you yourself are an accused in a PMLA case, if you give your statement to a sub-inspector or senior level police official, that holds true.
Fair enough. But again, I am saying to you that all of this evidence and all of these statements are being given by people, one of whom today has said it was taken under duress. And having said that, here is where I want to bring you in, Krishank, because while Mr. Pillai may have said that I was coerced, there is another person who is stated as witness who gave a statement on the 23rd of February 2023. We are talking about Buchi Babu, who is said to be the link between Ms. K. Kavita and Manish Sisodia. What has he said in his statement? I quote, there was a political understanding between Ms. K. Kavita and the CM and Deputy CM of Delhi. In the process, K. Kavita has also met Mr. Vijay Nair on the 19th and 20th of March 2021. Vijay Nair was trying to impress K. Kavita with what he could do in the policy. He was acting on behalf of the Delhi CM and Manish Sisodia. He was working on the excise policy on their behalf. So here is somebody who acted as a link and he has given a statement saying that in return of 100 crores, the policy was manipulated by the CM and Deputy CM.
Well, Padmaja, coming straight to the point, one, these are all extrajudicial confessions and not judicial confessions in front of a magistrate. These are all in front of the officials or the officers of the ED. So definitely the merits of the case will be when they are in front of the court, because as you have mentioned that there are two witnesses, one who has retracted today and one more. The BJP spokesperson was talking about Dinesh Arora, approver. Let me remind you, Ram Narayan versus State of Bihar, 306 CRPC clearly mentions that approver's evidence is not a reliable evidence. It is just for corroboration. But one second.
In PMLA case it is, don't lie.
Padmaja, I've been waiting a lot of time, Padmaja.
Okay, one at a time, please, because he's just got a chance to speak. Let him speak, please. Yes.
See, I've heard good teachings about PMLA. When the BJP spokesperson spoke about PMLA, it was good to hear that, in PMLA, even before proven they are guilty. See, I'm just showing this tweet of the ED, Padmaja, the tweet of the ED, which has named a BJP leader, Y Sujana Chaudhary, of 6,000 crore scam and operating 120 shell companies. Why wasn't he arrested? This is why we are claiming when you want to arrest all of
showing pictures here. I'm glad we're all showing pictures here. You're talking about how confessions or statements are being made in an extrajudicial fashion. I want to show you a picture which was a part of the remand note today made by the Enforcement Directorate. This is a chat between Vijay Nair and Mr. Bucci Babu. And it is of a signal message that he got from Mr. Nair 2 days before the excise policy was made public. Mr. Bucci Babu had already been given the excise policy on Signal messaging app. How did this happen?
I'm not the spokesperson. I'm not the spokesperson of Bucci Babu. I'm not the spokesperson of Bucci Babu.
But Mr. Bucci Babu is an advisor / CA to Ms. K. Kavita, isn't he?
Bucci Babu was K. Kavita's chartered
if he is an employee, if he is a chartered accountant, no, 1 second. If he is a chartered accountant, but that doesn't mean, that how is it linked to the policy? How is it linked to the policy? I don't understand.
How is he linked to the policy? Because he's the one who was the conduit. The simple question is, sir, that if there is a policy which is being formulated, even before the state gets to see it, why is this gentleman, as a chartered accountant, why would he want to see the Delhi liquor policy?
He should answer it to the court. He should answer it to the court and to the ED. As I'm telling you,
why don't you answer?
We are a spokesperson. I'm not Bucci Babu's spokesperson, Sanju Verma.
I'm asking you.
You are the spokesperson of ED.
Okay, let me
you are
ask
the
you this.
spokesperson of ED. I am not the spokesperson.
Okay, let me ask you this out of curiosity. Was Mr. Bucci Babu the chartered accountant / advisor to Ms. Kavita? Yes or no? Or did that relationship not exist?
He was not the advisor or any kind of. We don't have any business relationships with any one of them.
Was he the chartered accountant to Ms. Kavita?
Arun Pillai, or that's what I'm telling you. There is no relationship with any of these people. With any of these people.
Okay. All right.
So, meeting. Madam, Padmaja ji, if meeting is a problem, see Arun Pillai with Tejasvi Surya, why did he meet? Was there a business relationship? If meeting or pictures are a problem, what is this then? What is this, Padmaja ji?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You put the evidence. You are welcome to hold up that picture again. Like we said, we're just putting the facts out there. All the people concerned are also putting their side of the story, their facts. The BRS saying very categorically that Bucci Babu is in the custody of the ED. He has to explain himself. There is no working relationship or ever was between him, the party, or K. Kavita. However, these communications have happened and they need to be investigated, which is why Mr. Sisodia, for now, is going to be in the ED's custody. Tomorrow is the questioning of Ms. K. Kavita as well. We'll keep a very close eye for the time being, though. Thank you very much, all gentlemen, and Sanju Verma for joining me. Over the course of the last week, we have heard Congress MP Rahul Gandhi making critical claims about India on foreign shows, and each of them being repeatedly fact-checked. Now it seems that the onus of making fact-free claims has fallen on some media houses. After BBC documentary on the Prime Minister that was called a hatchet job, the case in point is an op-ed in the New York Times. The opinion piece in question has been authored by Anuradha Bhasin, executive editor of the Kashmir Times. It is headlined, "Modi's final assault on India's press freedom has begun." The piece alleges that repressive media policies are destroying Kashmiri journalism and media outlets are being intimidated into serving as government mouthpieces. Taking umbrage to selective and fictitious portrayal of several facts on ground, Union Minister Anurag Thakur today said that the NYT has now dropped all pretension of neutrality against India and its sole motive is to spread propaganda via fiction. The reason for this is not just the own history and the background of Ms. Bhasin, but also several of the examples quoted by her in her piece to talk about repression are very contrary to the actual facts on ground.
The things go against them, then they say that it's propaganda. It's such a contradiction. Now when the truth is being covered by them, because they are not in, they don't accept the truth. What they accept is that one side, that there should be praise and no negative side or real side should be shown.
इस लेख को पढ़ने से ऐसा भी पता चलता है कि ना केवल वो एक जमीनी सच्चाई से बहुत दूर की बातें हैं, गलत प्रोपोगंडा है, बल्कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ भी एक सोचे समझे तरीके से चलाई हुई साजिश है। न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स ने पहले भी ऐसे बहुत बार भारत के खिलाफ प्रोपोगंडा रचा है और इसके पीछे वो लोग हैं जिनका मकसद हमेशा से ही कश्मीर को भारत से अलग दिखाने का रहा है।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, Abhit Rana activist joins us along with Ashwini Handa, spokesperson of the Democratic Azad Party, and Jahangir Ali, journalist. Why are you defending this piece, Jahangir Ali?
Well, I've not joined the program to defend, nor do I hold anyone's brief to speak on this issue. The problem here is at multiple levels, and I hope you'll give me the time to make my point. Last year the Reporters Without Borders came out with a study about the state of journalism in India, and according to which India has continuously slid down from number 80 position in 2001 to 130, which means India is in the company of pariah states like North Korea, like Afghanistan, and like China. That is one. Number two is the issues of the crackdown that media has been subjected to intensely over the past.
Can you give specific examples, sir? Because as far as Anuradha Bhasin is concerned, hold on a second, sir.
Not just confined to.
Hold on a second. No, let's talk specifics. Because when we talk about generalities like crackdown on media,
give me one. This crackdown
each
is not limited only to Kashmir. It is also happening across India.
No, sir, we cannot engage in generalities because then we'll only be dealing with rhetoric.
Yogi Adityanath jailing
I am sorry, but we will deal in facts.
He doesn't like their presence at a particular spot.
Sir, let's talk about...
In West Bengal, you will see Mamata Banerjee taking the heat out on the journalists.
Mr. Ali,
so this is something that is not confined to only Jammu and Kashmir, but it has been happening across India.
Okay. So again, you are talking about generalities. Let me quote to you specifically from the piece what it claims and what the facts are. It says... On the evening of October 19, 2020, as reporters and photographers of Kashmir Times rushed to meet deadlines, government officials and police swept into the newspaper's office in the city of Srinagar, chased out staff and put a lock on the door that remains to this day. Isn't a fact, though, that actually this particular property was assigned to Ms. Anuradha Bhasin's father, and as per the rules, after his passing away, the government is well within its rights to take back the property? Why is this being painted as some kind of crackdown on the organization that she runs? What was the government supposed to do? Let people just stay on government property? Mr. Jahangir Ali.
Like I said, I do not hold any brief on Anuradha. I think she has made her point very elaborately in her piece. But the concern of freedom, the crackdown on media, is something that has not only been voiced by the New York Times, it has been voiced at multiple global forums also. And if you remember, India is a signatory to the 2030 sustainable UN Sustainable Agenda.
Amit Rana has a question for you. Amit Rana has a question for you.
India is a signatory to that. So
I'm asking Mr. Jahangir Ali, you have quoted New York Times. You have quoted New York Times where Anuradha has written an article, op-ed. Then you said others have also quoted it. Please quote others. You are speaking on Times right now. Has your voice been curtailed right now? I want to understand that.
Of a democratic India.
Now let's discuss the Bhasin family. That is very important and critical to understand. The Bhasin family are the supporters of Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front, an organization banned under terrorist acts.
That it would be wrong to discuss.
No, it is wrong. Her father and she.
The issue is about the erosion of freedom of press in India.
A terrorist has a voice. A terrorist sympathizer has the right to speak.
That is not the issue.
I am telling you.
Okay. Just a second. It is important, sir, because what you write also has a context. And just by the way, hold on a second, Mr. Jahangir Ali, hold on a second. Let's not talk over each other. Before I bring in Amit Rana, I want to just remind you, you are rightly very concerned about the death of democracy and freedom of speech under the Modi government. Let me remind you that the same lady, Anuradha Bhasin, also spoke about how in 2009, the Omar Abdullah government tried to demolish her offices. And at that time, she said it's because we were writing very strongly against the Shopian rape and murder. So in 2009 also, perhaps democracy was dying and freedom of speech was at an all-time low, because the Omar Abdullah government, according to the same lady, was taking action against her. But why are you going after a family and the opinion writer? Amit Rana.
See, I trust me, in this panel, probably I'm the only person who believes in absolute freedom of speech. And when I mean absolute, I mean the French way. So I have full, I believe that Anuradha has all the right to speak what she wants to speak. But that also does not take away my right to speak and expose the agenda New York Times has and Anuradha has. Now let's look at the history of the family. They are JKLF sympathizers and officially JKLF sympathizers. It's not that there's some hidden agenda. Her father and she were present when JKLF opened the Jammu office in 2002. When they were questioned about the killing of Air Force officers by Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front and Yasin Malik, and Yasin Malik saying that he's waging war against India, he did not respond. In fact, he went angry with the journalist who asked that question. This was the freedom of speech. In last 32 years, the Kashmir Times has not written a single word against the terrorists who have done ethnic cleansing and genocide of Kashmiri Hindus. In fact, they have gone and called Yasin Malik, Burhan Wanis and others as heroes of Kashmir or as great leaders of Kashmir. Anuradha herself was vacated of that property on an notice given in 2015. For 5 years, she kept on squatting on the property, encroaching on the property, which did not belong to her. She was asked to vacate the property after her father died, but she did not die. But the moment the government took an action, she went and played a victim card. Now, if we go to the article which she has published, she says that Gilani's news was blacklisted and it was not allowed to be published. I myself remember doing 25 debates of the same on national channel on Gilani's death, and there was no way any government could have suppressed the death of Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, whatever his credentials may be.
So how does action on squatters become about freedom of speech, Ashwini Handa? अगर आपके खिलाफ एक्शन ले तो फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच हो जाता है. एंड वर्स व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग एन आर्टिकल यू आर नॉट इवन ट्रू टू फैक्ट्स. Let me quote to you example number 3 from this article. Already Amit Rana has spoken of Mr. Gilani. We have spoken of being evicted from her property. Now let's quote to you the third example. She says, in 2019, Mr. Modi's government abruptly revoked Kashmir's autonomous status without public input from territory's people. Then, of course, internet was shut down, etc. Internet speeds have been excruciating slow since. What she does not say that in February 2021, the government issued an order allowing the restoration of high-speed mobile internet services. Not just that, in January 2023, there was a rollout of 5G services. At least be true to facts when you are saying that India is in the dumps.
पद्मजा जी, अब मैं बात करूं?
बोलिए।
आईबी मिनिस्टर ये कहते हैं कि ये प्रोपोगंडा है, जो भारत को सूट करता है, भारत की सरकार को सूट करता है, वो सही है, और अगर भारत सरकार के खिलाफ कोई बोलता है तो वो प्रोपोगंडा है।
आप क्या पाकिस्तानी है? आप पाकिस्तानी है? नहीं, भारत को
सरकार की बात
होता है। आई टेक ऑब्जेक्शन टू दिस।
राणा साहब, बात सुनिए पहले।
आप पाकिस्तानी है क्या?
चिल्लाने से नहीं होता है। आप बात सुनिए।
आप क्या कह रही बात कर रहे हैं? आपने कहा भारत को सूट करता है, आपने कहा भारत को सूट करता है। आप अपने वर्ड्स वापस लीजिए, आप माफी मांगिए, उसके बाद आगे बात करिए।
के लिए नहीं बोला है, मोदी भक्ति में इतना लीन मत हो जाइए कि
आप अपना रिवाइंड करके देखिए आपने क्या बोला
कर दीजिए।
नहीं, आपने नहीं बोला।
अरे मोदी भक्ति मत कीजिए, कम से कम फैक्ट्स की भक्ति तो कर लीजिए। आप कह रहे हैं कि इंटरनेट चल नहीं रहा है, वहां 5G चला हुआ है, आप कह रहे हैं इंटरनेट नहीं चल रहा है। आप बात कर रहे हैं कि सज्जाद गुल जो है एक जर्नलिस्ट, उनको विक्टिमाइज किया जा रहा है। आपको मैं बता दूं, बाय द वे अश्विनी हांडा जी, आप भी जम्मू कश्मीर से आते हैं, सज्जाद गुल की बात कर रही हैं अनुराधा भसीन, उनको मोदी सरकार ने कुछ नहीं बोला है। उनके बारे में जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस ने डॉजियर बनाया है, जहां पर कश्मीर के पुलिस वाले काम करते हैं। जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस ने सज्जाद गुल के बारे में बोला, एंड आई कोट, सज्जाद गुल यूजेस सोशल मीडिया एज अ tool to provoke people. He makes statements on social media that causes mischief and promotes enmity. In the first case lodged in 2021, he is accused of obstructing a drive to remove illegal encroachments. अश्विनी हांडा जी, प्रॉब्लम ये है, आपका एक बैकग्राउंड है, आपको सरकार से खुंदक है, आप जो है थोड़ा सा इधर, थोड़ा सा उधर, थोड़ा सा फिक्शन ऊपर से छिड़क करके कुछ भी लिख दीजिए।
सुनिए, मैं पत्रकारिता का आनंद कैसे हो रहा है मैं ये बता रहा हूं आपको कि आप बताइए, जब कोविड था तो कश्मीर के अंदर पत्रकारों की आवाज की सुनने के लिए एक ही संस्था थी, वो थी कश्मीर प्रेस क्लब। किस तरह से जबरन सरकार ने उसको खाली कराया गया और आज वहां पे पुलिस पोस्ट है। तो किस तरह की पत्रकारिता की आजादी है ये पूछना चाहते हैं, किस तरह की जो लोगों की फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच है किस तरह से है।
सर, आप अगेन जनरलिटीज में बात मत कीजिए। कश्मीर प्रेस क्लब के बारे में एक बहुत लंबा डिबेट हमने किया, दोबारा कर सकते हैं। आई एम आस्किंग यू सिंपली कि अगर कोई एक्शन लिया जा रहा है अगेंस्ट पीपल हु आर क्रिएटिंग मिसचिफ इन द वैली, आप उसे कहिए क्रैकडाउन है। आपसे घर वापस लिया जाता है, आप कह रहे हैं क्रैकडाउन है। आप ऐसे फैक्ट्स देते हैं व्हिच डू नॉट एग्जिस्ट ऑन द ग्राउंड
कि भारत के पत्रकार विदेशों में बोलने की क्यों जरूरत पड़ी है, क्या आवश्यकता है भारत में पत्रकारों को, इसलिए कि भारत के चैनल्स हो चाहे नेशनल मीडिया हो, कोई भी उस चीज को बताने के लिए तैयार नहीं है।
सर, पहली बात तो ये है ना कि फैक्ट्स जो है कौन से सही है और गलत है उसके आर्बिटर आप नहीं है। इट इज वेरी अपैरेंट ऑन द ग्राउंड। द थिंग इज दैट यू कैन ट्राई एंड cloak your own agenda as truth telling and journalism. Fact of the matter is maybe a New York Times will buy it, but people who are actually living in Jammu and Kashmir are way smarter than that because they know Anuradha Bhasin, they know the New York Times, and they know what's happening in their lives. So they will judge in the end what is fact and what is agenda. I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks very much all gentlemen for joining me. Thanks for watching.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
कौन सी भी न होए, इसी तरह का जो कुछ ज्ञान है वो भी इधर ये सभी दादी माँ को दिया जाता है। खेल कूद में भी ये दादी माँ बहुत ही अग्रेसर रहती है। पेंटिंग करना, हैंडक्राफ्ट का कुछ काम करना, यह भी काम ये सब दादी माँ करती है। हमारे दादी माँ स्कूल को अभी तक बहुत ही अवार्ड प्राप्त हुए हैं। इतना ही नहीं, लिम्का बुक रिकॉर्ड भी ये दादी माँ स्कूल का हुआ है। ये स्कूल चालू करने का यही हेतु था कि बुजुर्गों को सम्मान मिलना चाहिए। अगर ये सभी दादी माँ को अच्छी तरह से लिखना पढ़ना या उनको साइन भी करने आने लगी तो भी उनके लिए उनका पूरा जीवन ही सम्मानजनक और सफल हो जाएगा।
लहान होते तेव्हा शाळेत गेले नाही.
आमची परिस्थिती कठीण होती आई बाबाची, मग ते शाळेत पण नाही टाकली.
आजीबाईच्या शाळेमध्ये आल्यापासून माझं आयुष्य बदलूनच गेलं.
ही शाळा
कीजिए हमारे चैनल को और सोशल मीडिया पर
At least 6 YouTube channels have been blocked by the central government for allegedly promoting pro-Khalistan sentiments in India. In a crackdown against pro-Khalistan sympathizer Amritpal Singh, the CISF has nabbed Gurinder Pal Singh at the airport. He looked after Amritpal's social media. Trouble mounts for Gurmeet Ram Rahim. An FIR has now been registered in Jalandhar. He has been accused of inciting religious sentiments. ED conducted searches in Uttar Pradesh and Mumbai, including the properties linked to Lalu Yadav and his family members. Enforcement Directorate raided premises of RJD leader Syed Abu Dojana in Pulwari Sharif. Dojana is considered to be a close aide of Lalu Prasad Yadav. Karnataka BJP MLC Putana joined the Congress, and he says BJP is a corrupt party. After the BJP MLC's induction, the Congress ticket hopefuls protested outside the Congress office and gherraud Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं मोहुल, who is founder and CEO of Matter. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So Mohul, we've already seen this bike. I still don't know what you guys going to call it right now, but hopefully, we're going to know about it in a couple of months, I believe, and more details that we already know about specifications and what you are offering with this bike. But उसके अलावा कुछ और चीज़ें हैं जिनकी डिटेल्स अभी आनी बाकी हैं. So इस बाइक को लेकर थोड़ा टाइमलाइन, इफ यू कैन एक्सप्लेन किस तरह का टाइमलाइन रहने वाला है एंड कब इसका ऑफिशियली लॉन्च आप करने वाले हैं.
Definitely. So first thing is at the Auto Expo we have also showcased the 6 kilowatt version of the bike. So at launch we had a 5 kilowatt version. Now we also have a 6 kilowatt version of the bike. And in terms of timeline, in the next 30 days we will be giving out the spec variants and pricing to the larger market. We will be opening up bookings for the Matter motorbike this quarter, and deliveries summer में शुरू हो जाने वाली है.
So एक चीज़ जो बहुत ही टेक्नोलॉजी का हूँ इंटरेस्टिंग है इस बाइक के बारे में, इसमें गियर है. इलेक्ट्रिक बाइक होने के साथ साथ इसमें वो आइस वाला आपने एसेंस और बहुत बड़ा एसेंस इसमें बचा के रखा है. सो वो कैसे आपने उस पर काम किया एंड हाउ डिड यू थॉट अबाउट दिस कि ये अगर हम इसमें इंक्लूड कर पाते हैं गियर शिफ्ट वाला पैटर्न, सो वो कैसे स्टार्ट हुआ? हाउ
So when we in 2019 when we were starting out, we spoke to a lot of consumers कि electric bike क्यों नहीं खरीदते. In 2019 there were only a handful of players who were giving motorcycles as a product, and what we realized is that motorcycling is emotion driven. You name your bike, you work with it, you control it, you become one with your bike. And from there the common theme came, control नहीं मिल रहा, feel नहीं आ रही. And obviously once we started translating कि हमें क्या सुनाई दे रहा है और कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए, and we've spoken to over 500 customers on this. Clear indication, gear तो चाहिए. And that's when we said कि let's make something that the consumers truly want. ऐसा नहीं कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी है उसी को वापस पैकेज करके दे देते हैं. Let's make it. तो वहाँ से when the journey started, we had to make our own motors. We had to make the gearboxes, the batteries, the electronics, the entire vehicle from scratch.
And nobody would have, I believe nobody would have thought of जितने भी EVs, two wheelers इंडिया में अब आ रहे हैं, ये गियर वाला किसी ने, I think
we are the first in India to have actually put gears on a
electric bike
or an electric two wheeler.
So I mean ये एक चीज़ है जो स्टैंड आउट करती है मैटर को बाकी सभी EVs या और भी जो ब्रांड्स ऑलरेडी मौजूद हैं मार्केट में. इसके अलावा आई हैव सीन वहाँ पे एक कॉन्सेप्ट खड़ा है, एंड देयर इज वन कॉन्सेप्ट ओवर देयर, एंड दिस वन आई रियली लव इट राइट नाउ. आई होप ये जिस शेप में है एटलीस्ट 70-80% इसका ये शेप वैसे का ही जब फाइनली प्रोडक्शन वर्जन में देखने को मिलेगा.
Definitely.
So इन दोनों को लेके आपका क्या प्लान है, एंड व्हाट उसका पर्पस क्या है, इसका पर्पस क्या है, if you can please.
So definitely. So while the Matter motorbike sits in the 150-200 cc range of vehicle, we wanted to, in line with our vision of accelerating India to electric, we also wanted to create mass market products, and that is where, let's call it the sub 150 cc, because exact cc to electric powertrain.
Right now you're calling this EXC concept.
This is the concept EXC. So the concept EXC and the concept UT both are built on the same platform. Both come with swappable batteries. Both can be so both are very flexible platforms which allow you to accessorize it a lot, change it to the way which is suited to you as a consumer best. Both of them are connected platforms. In that sense, they are very, I'll call them younger siblings of the Matter motorbike. But coming down to the swapping technology, एक बैटरी भी लगा सकते हो, दो बैटरी भी लगा सकते हो, बट अगर स्वैपिंग स्टेशन पास में नहीं है तो रेगुलर 5 एम्प के सॉकेट से गाड़ी को चार्ज भी कर सकते हो. इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि स्वैप ही करना पड़ेगा.
You can also charge it at home.
You can charge it at home. You can swap it.
And also
now comes the last piece in the ecosystem for us is we have done a partnership with Luminous Power Technologies, the leading inverter manufacturers, and
home dock.
And we've created the home dock. The home dock is essentially, it's a very fancy looking piece of power solutions unit, and जो गाड़ी की swappable battery है, you can actually carry it home and charge it in your home also. But now the best part.
And how many batteries can you fit in there?
2 can be fit in there. Now the best part. If you lose power in your house, the same home dock can actually act like an inverter and power your house from the same batteries you took from the vehicle.
That's really cool.
So this for us is the ecosystem. So the home dock, concept EXE, concept UT, and the swapping station. This is our future roadmap in terms of where we are looking at in terms of next mobility products. So all of these will be out on the market in less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years.
Yes, before the next Auto Expo, we will be there. So those will be here at next Auto Expo.
And also, I mean, first time जब Matter bike unveil हुई थी, we saw it for the first time. उसके बाद किस तरह का रिस्पांस आपको कस्टमर्स की तरफ से या जो भी आपके फ्यूचर कस्टमर्स हैं उनकी तरफ से किस तरह का रिस्पांस रहा है, फीडबैक आपको देखने को मिला है?
रिस्पांस हैज बीन फिनोमिनल, एंड द रीजन इज दैट विथ द राइट कनेक्टिविटी सॉल्यूशंस, navigation, call control, music control, the liquid cooling technology which is cooling the battery pack, the electronics, the motor and the gearbox, apart from the looks and the styling, consumers find this to be the bike that they have been asking for the longest time, because electric vehicles have been here for about 15 years in India, and this is the first time that they are finding something that really resonates with them, something that has really solved their pain point, solved their need, and with the flexibility to do whatever you want. I mean, this vehicle is also charged off a 5 amp socket. We have showcased the fast chargers as well. Now the consumers are waiting for us, and as I said, this quarter we'll be starting to take bookings, and summer you will have these in the hands of the consumers this year.
So one last question, it's personal. When can we get our hands on this? When are we gonna test try and experience the Matter bike?
You're happy to come down to Ahmedabad whenever you like to, and we'll let you run this. But what I would ask for you today here at the Auto Expo is, there's a vehicle at the back. We have a dyno here.
On the dyno, yeah.
But do give the gearbox a try. It's an experience you're never gonna forget.
Okay, so I'm gonna try it now.
That'd be great.
तो आइए देखते हैं इस बॉक्स के अंदर आपको क्या क्या दिखाई देगा. यहाँ पे आपको सबसे पहले दिखेगी इन्फिनिक्स की बॉटल, जहां पर जिन्होंने इनके साथ कोलैबोरेट किया है मार्वल स्टूडियोज की ब्रांडिंग भी दिखाई देगी. जल्दी से दिखा देते हैं कि बॉटल कैसी दिख रही है। तो इस तरीके की स्टील की बॉटल आपको मिलती है, साथ में फ्रिज मैग्नेट। आई थिंक दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ ट्रेजर बॉक्स फॉर ऑल द मार्वल लवर्स। यहाँ पे आपको कुछ कार्ड्स दिखाई देंगे। गाइस, क्या हमें इन कार्ड्स के साथ गिव अवेज करना चाहिए या नहीं, कमेंट बॉक्स में बताइए। द आंसर इज नो। हा हा हा। और यहाँ पे आपको मिलता है स्मार्टफोन का रिटेल बॉक्स। ये कवर है बहुत ही खूबसूरत सा, जिसपे लिखा है Infinix Zero 5G इन कोलैबोरेशन विद मार्वल स्टूडियोज। तो काफी ही ट्रिपी है, बहुत अमेजिंग सा लग रहा है, मार्वल फैंस को बहुत पसंद आने वाला है। टाडा! और यहाँ पे आपको मिलता है Infinix Zero 5G 2023 एडिशन। अब करेंगे इसको अनबॉक्स। अब शुरू करते हैं Infinix Zero 5G की अनबॉक्सिंग। सबसे पहले लगाएंगे एक धांसू सा कट। बॉक्स इसका काफी रेगुलर सा है, जो कि आपने देखा होगा Infinix के बाकी के स्मार्टफोन्स के साथ। पीछे की ओर आपको बहुत सारे यहाँ पर इसके फीचर्स दिखाई देंगे। यहाँ पे जैसे कि आपको मिलता है MediaTek Dimensity 10805G चिपसेट। उसी के साथ आपको मिलता है अल्ट्रा स्मूथ 120 हर्ट्ज रिफ्रेश रेट, 50 MP का ट्रिपल रेयर कैमरा सिस्टम, साथ में यूनिकर्व डिजाइन इस फोन पे आपको दिखाई देगा। और अगर बैटरी की बात करें तो ये फोन में आएगा 5000 mAh बैटरी कैपेसिटी विद द सपोर्ट ऑफ 33 वॉट सुपर फास्ट चार्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी। अब इसको भी यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा कट लगा देते हैं जल्दी से, और देखते हैं कि बॉक्स के इस रिटेल बॉक्स में यूजर्स को क्या क्या मिल सकता है। सबसे पहले जो आपको दिखाई देगा वो ऑफ कोर्स है हैंडसेट, और यहाँ पे मुझे बहुत ही वाइब्रेंट सा ऑरेंज कलर दिखाई दे रहा है। बहुत ही डिफरेंट है गाइज, मैंने इतना वाइब्रेंट कलर अभी तक तो यूज नहीं किया है। लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट्स कि आपको इस कलर के बारे में क्या लगता है। इट्स वेरी वाइब्रेंट एंड पेपी। यहाँ पर आपको कंपनी की ब्रांडिंग दिखाई दे रही है। जैसे कि मैंने पहले बताया था, दिस स्मार्टफोन ऑफर्स 3 कैमराज ऑन द बैक। टेक्सचर्ड और रेयर पैनल है, बहुत सारा टेक्सचर है, मैट फिनिशिंग के साथ आता है, विच मीन्स दिस पैनल इज गोइंग टू रेजिस्ट फिंगरप्रिंट्स एंड स्मजेस। उसी तरीके से अगर हम सामने की ओर चलें, फोन को स्टार्ट करते हैं और साइड रखते हैं। पहले मैं आपको दिखा देती हूँ कि बॉक्स के अंदर आपको और क्या क्या मिलता है। इसमें हमारा स्मार्टफोन शुरू हो रहा है। यहाँ पे आपको मिलेगी चार्जिंग ब्रिक, जिसपे Infinix की ब्रांडिंग है। तो ये रहा, आपको चार्जिंग ब्रिक मिलेगी। साथ में आपको मिलेगा एक USB-C केबल। आई रियली लाइक द ऑरेंज एक्सेंट दैट यू गेट इनसाइड लाइक विद द केबल। दिस एक्चुअली कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स द स्मार्टफोन एज वेल। तो यहाँ पे भी ऑरेंज एक्सेंट्स आपको दिखाई दे रहे होंगे। इसको भी साइड में रखते हैं। बॉक्स की बाकी चीजों में आपको मिलता है सम पेपर वर्क, जैसे कि यूजर मैनुअल एंड अदर थिंग्स। इसको साइड रखते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत पैसा काम आ सके तो। और साथ में मैंडेटरी चीज, एंड दैट इज अ प्रोटेक्टिव केस। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, तो इसको हमेशा अपने फोन पे इस्तेमाल करिए। इसको भी साइड में रखते हैं। और सिम इंजेक्टर टूल, अपनी सिम को इंसर्ट करने के लिए। सो दीज आर द बेसिक थिंग्स दैट यू गेट इनसाइड द बॉक्स। अगर फोन के बारे में थोड़ा बात करनी है तो पहले मुझे टेबल को क्लियर करने दो। टेबल क्लियर हो चुका है, फोन शुरू हो चुका है। तो आइए जानते हैं फोन के बारे में। डिस्प्ले की बात करें तो यहाँ पे जो साइड बेजल्स हैं वो काफी ही थिन है, बट यू ऑल्सो गेट अ थिक चिन। तो व्यूइंग एक्सपीरियंस इस पे कितना अच्छा होने वाला है वो हमें पता चलेगा जब इस पे कंटेंट बिंज करेंगे। सामने की ओर आपको मिलता है पंच होल कैमरा। इसके अलावा एक बार चेकआउट करते हैं इसका कैमरा ऐप। यहाँ पे आपको डिफरेंट टाइप के मोड्स दिखाई देंगे, फिल्म, वीडियो, AI, ब्यूटी, पोर्ट्रेट, सुपर नाइट एंड मोर। ये था डिस्प्ले के बारे में। दिस स्मार्टफोन ऑल्सो कम्स विद 120 हर्ट्ज रिफ्रेश रेट, विच मीन्स द एनिमेशंस एंड द स्क्रॉलिंग इज गोइंग टू बी सुपर स्मूथ ऑन दिस स्मार्टफोन। ब्लोटवेयर की बात करें तो मुझे यहाँ पर कुछ अननेसेसरी एप्स दिखाई दे रही हैं, बट आई रियली होप दैट यू कैन अनइंस्टॉल दैम इफ यू वांट टू। जैसे कि ये वाली, देयर वाज दिस रैंडम ऐप बूम प्ले, जिसको अनइंस्टॉल करने का ऑप्शन है। सो दिस नीड्स टू बी डन मैनुअली, ये यूजर्स को करना पड़ेगा। इसके अलावा इसके लुक्स और डिजाइन की थोड़ी सी अगर और बात करें तो रेयर पैनल की हमने काफी बात कर ली है। साइड में भी आपको हल्का सा गोल्डन या ऑरेंज एक्सेंट का फ्रेम दिखाई देगा जस्ट टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट द ओवरऑल स्मार्टफोन। फ्रेम के राइट साइड पे आपको दिखाई देगा पावर बटन विच इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू एक्ट एज अ फिंगरप्रिंट स्कैनर। उसी के ऊपर आपको मिलता है वॉल्यूम रॉकर। ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड इज एक्चुअली प्रिटी नीट। बस यहाँ पे टॉप पर आपको दिखता है सिम ट्रे जिसके लिए बॉक्स में दी गई है सिम इजेक्टर टूल, so use that and insert your SIM, as simple as that. On the bottom you get a 3.5 mm headphone jack. Brownie points to Infinix Zero 5G smartphone for this. इसके साथ आपको मिलता है टाइप सी पोर्ट एंड स्पीकर ग्रिल। टॉप इज प्रिटी सिंपल। यहाँ पे इनफैक्ट एक ब्रांडिंग है जिस पे लिखा हुआ है पावर्ड बाय इन्फिनिक्स। सो आई रियली लाइक हाउ द कंपनी हैज managed to make this smartphone look a little bit more beautiful just by adding colors on the sides. आ चुका है पोको X5 Pro का बॉक्स टेबल पे। अब इसको जल्दी से करेंगे अनबॉक्स। ब्लैक और येलो कलर का ये बॉक्स है जो ज्यादातर पोको के स्मार्टफोन पे आपको येलो कलर जो इसका सिग्नेचर कलर है वो दिखाई देगा। Sometimes it is really tricky to take the tapes off, so let me try it with my nails. One tape down successfully. गाइज ये जो फीलिंग है ना अनबॉक्स करने वाली ये काफी ही मजेदार लगती है। जब भी आप कोई नया गैजेट अनबॉक्स करते हैं तो मजा तो आता है। जैसे कि यहाँ देखेंगे बॉक्स के पीछे की तरफ बहुत सारे डिटेल्स लिखे हैं, बॉक्स के बारे में फीचर्स लिखे हैं, वो दिखाएंगे और उसके बारे में बात करेंगे जब फोन हाथ में आ जाएगा। इनसाइड द बॉक्स यू गेट दिस लिटिल पेपर बॉक्स एज वेल जिसमें ज्यादातर पेपर वर्क और प्रोटेक्टिव केस ही होता है। लाइक आई सेड वही मिला है हमको। यहाँ पर एक छोटा सा मैनुअल टाइप है। यहाँ पर फोन को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए आपको मिलता है ट्रांसपेरेंट प्रोटेक्टिव केस और साथ में सिम इजेक्टर टूल विच इज वेरी बेसिक। अब मुझे बॉक्स के अंदर दिखाई दे रहा है हमारा डिवाइस जिसके बारे में ये वीडियो बना रहे हैं। उफ, very vibrant and peppy yellow color. Just like the box, the smartphone also boasts the combination of black or call it dark gray along with yellow. और कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग डिजाइन आपको फ्रेम्स पर भी दिखेगा। जो कलर आपको यहाँ कैमरा मॉड्यूल पर दिख रहा है, पीछे ये जो पैच पर दिख रहा है वही आपको उसी कलर का फ्रेम दिखाई देगा विद येलो एक्सेंट्स। वेट की बात करें तो अच्छा है, लाइट वेट है और यहाँ पे जो येलो है दिस इज लिटिल बिट डल, नॉट एज वाइब्रेंट एज द बॉक्स और प्रॉपर येलो। वैसे तो मैट फिनिशिंग है लेकिन ये जो कलर है इसके अंदर हल्का सा ग्लिटर आपको दिखाई देता है। फ्लैशी नहीं है, अच्छा है। इसको साइड में रखते हैं, अभी ऑन भी करेंगे और उसके बाद स्मार्टफोन के बारे में बात करेंगे। पहले देखते हैं और क्या आपको बॉक्स के अंदर दिखाई देगा। You also get a 67 watt charging brick. I really liked how they have written 67 watt here. बहुत ही बढ़िया फॉन्ट लग रहा है, कुछ डिफरेंट देखने को मिला वरना ज्यादातर यहाँ पर नॉर्मली लिख देते हैं 67 और 80। तो ये जो इसने हल्का सा छोटा सा अटेम्प्ट किया है विद द डिजाइन, आई रियली लाइक। साथ में आपको मिलता है टाइप सी केबल विद ऑरेंज एक्सेंट्स जैसे कि आप यहाँ देख पा रहे होंगे। इसको भी साइड में रखते हैं एंड दैट्स इट, दैट्स ऑल यू गेट इनसाइड द बॉक्स। अब बात करते हैं स्मार्टफोन के बारे में, जरा मुझे इसे ऑन करने दीजिए। फोन को यहाँ पर सेटअप करना मैंने शुरू कर दिया है। जैसे कि आप देख पाएंगे दिस फोन रन्स ऑन MIUI 14। साथ इसको हम सेट करते रहेंगे और फोन के बारे में बात करते रहेंगे बिकॉज यही तो।
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching News Now Overnight with me, Priya Bhel. First up, the top 50 stories. Enforcement Directorate gets a 7-day custody of Manish Sisodia in Delhi liquor policy case. Agency had sought 10-day remand. Aam Aadmi Party hits out at the BJP over arrest, calls it selective action on opposition leaders by the centre. BJP says since Sisodia has not been given relief even by the court, Kejriwal now must resign for protecting him. While arguing for remand, ED told the court that Manish Sisodia had a direct role in Delhi liquor policy scam. BRS MLC K Kavita's alleged frontman Arun Pillai, who was arrested recently, has now filed a plea to withdraw his statement. Says it was recorded under duress. BJP workers today staged protest outside Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Saffron Party also set up small jail cells and put up posters of Satyendra Jain outside Rouse Avenue Court as part of its demonstration. Jailed conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar slams Aam Aadmi Party government, says Kejriwal will be arrested next, vows to expose more. BRS MLC K Kavita staged a dharna at Jantar Mantar demanding tabling of women's reservation bill. The BJP and YSRTP hit out at K Kavita, saying that the dharna was sham as it was only staged to deflect attention from ED summons. YS Sharmila also held a counter protest questioning the timing of BRS MLC's dharna. At least 6 YouTube channels allegedly promoting pro-Khalistan sentiments have been blocked by the government. ED searches underway in Uttar Pradesh and Mumbai, including the properties linked to Lalu Yadav and his family members. Enforcement Directorate raids premises of RJD leader Syed Abu Dojana in Phulwari Sharif. Dojana is considered to be a close aide of Lalu Yadav. Union Minister Anurag Thakur has slammed New York Times, says NYT's so-called opinion piece on freedom of press in Jammu and Kashmir is mischievous and fictitious. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Australian counterpart issue joint statement. PM highlights attacks against Hindu temples in Australia, says that Albanese has assured safety of Indians. In a joint statement issued later, Australian Prime Minister said that he is looking forward to host Prime Minister Narendra Modi in May this year and added that both nations are working on economic cooperation agreement. After widows of Pulwama martyrs were detained by Rajasthan cops, a family of one of the martyrs slams Gehlot government. Karnataka BJP MLC Puttanna has joined the Congress party, says BJP is corrupt. Senior Congress leaders hail MLC Puttanna's bold move of quitting the BJP. After BJP MLC's induction, Congress ticket hopefuls protest outside its offices, gherawing Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar. Shocker from Gurugram in an incident of road rage on Holi. A man was beaten black and blue with iron rods. His fault, his car grazed against the hooligan's vehicle. More details after a bit. STF continues hunt for Atiq's son Asad. UP STF suspects he escaped to Gujarat or Mumbai. Asad is one of key accused in Umesh Pal's daylight murder in Prayagraj. Finance Minister Harpal Chima has presented state budget for financial year 2023-24 in Punjab Legislative Assembly. Punjab Cabinet Minister Meet Hire has targeted opposition in Vidhan Sabha, blaming BJP-ruled Haryana for crimes being committed in the state. Maan government has cracked down against Amritpal. CISF has nabbed Gurinder Pal Singh at the airport. He looked after Amritpal's social media accounts. Trouble is mounting